showed corruption inside of me, and I wasn't alone. 'Cause attention's what you need. You didn't get enough of me, and it's a poison in me. You were lucky to know me. I let you be the missing piece to my heart, and I should have known that your love is poison to me. You were lucky to know me. I let you be the missing piece to my heart, and I should have known that your love is poison to me.
Well, 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 well. If it isn't that old guy. What's up, fellas? I wasn't talking to you, Chris.
Well, there's a bunch of old guys.
Oh, that's how you're going to start it off. Listen, I let everybody know tonight is the night that I lay the smack down on you. So let's get it on.
Let's do it right now. First, we got to clean house, man, because I don't want to, make a mess. That was fun, guys. I think next time.
Okay, now we're ready.
Yeah, now we're ready to do this thing, man. All right, you should have shown me that button. What's up, fellas? Tonight's Monday night, guys. And, first of all, the SmackDown in your day was what? Bologna with cheese?
It doesn't matter what you say. The Rock. The Rock.
All right, in all seriousness, what's up, fellas? I appreciate you guys joining us tonight, man. A lot of stuff happening. Right? A lot of stuff happening. The tonight's the show. The name of the show is The Negotiation, right? You guys see that the thumbnail that I had. I got that from The Art of War. If you guys who've ever read the book, or and I believe that in any negotiation, it's the battle is often won before it's fought in a negotiation. Or there's a lot that goes into that, but I'm curious to see what happens with this negotiation that Nick is going to have with Brian Legend and the team. I'm sure we all are. We want to know what's going to happen moving forward. So, the anticipation, I think, for everybody is real, right? So, I guess my anxiety levels are pretty high because, at the end of the day, I want a blockchain. I've been here a year and a half, waiting on one. So, hopefully that happens. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this tonight? And what would you guys like to? What would you be expecting? What are you not expecting?
I'm just hoping that at the end of the day, I can celebrate that the dickhead is gone and he has nothing to do with any of us anymore, and I can absolve myself with his name for good, and then we could just move on.
Yeah, that would be the best thing, right?
And hopefully he doesn't take too much of our money again, because he's already taken some. But
Yeah, he that's what he does, man. That's what he does. Yeah, same here.
Take.
What about you, Fowler? What's up, buddy? What you got, man?
What's going on, guys? What's happening? You guys know with me, man, I'm trying to, my focus is like F3 Warriors, guys gaming. I'm trying not to let, scumbags take up most of my day or take up any of my time. So, I'm really I'm pushing forward with my project. You guys know that. And also, if anybody's a Vulcanaire, you guys are out there, purchasing NFTs right now. So it's a lot of Vulcanaires right now because they're whitelisted. They've been whitelisted so they can access the DApp before everyone else before the launch. So, it's really cool to see everything working properly. They're almost like soft testers as well. So we're seeing that things are working. The packs, if you're not part of the community, there was an update that went out today that the packs are going to be postponed till a later date because there's a bug with the packs. So until I can make sure it's a stable build with the packs, then I'll release it later once it's stable. But right now, I don't want to put anything out there that's potentially could exploit or ruin the community or the NFT collectible system that I'm trying to set up here. So right now, everybody's happy. Not to the DApp is working. So we got an NFT. Gods of Gaming has an NFT marketplace right now for F3 Warriors. So that's my first DApp right now. That's working. It's working.
Good.
It's working
Nice.
strong. The supply is down. We got the supply down because the packs aren't going to be out. So right now, the people, once the launch day is open and the people who have whitelist, they're just, you should be grabbing them up because guess who's going to set the market? Not me. The holders will, because you guys are going to have, it's a finite supply. So
That's a good one, Teddy one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Teddy
that
one
looks
right
great.
there.
Happy here, man. Yeah, you've obviously been putting the work in, man. So I know it's going to pay off. So I appreciate you putting the work in. I've been seeing some of the stuff you're throwing out there, man, and it's looking really good. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, that's my best one right there.
Oh gosh.
Oh, slick.
Yeah, have you seen mine yet?
Oh, and I totally forgot. I totally forgot, guys. Like, there's another thing I need to put out there is that the fact that the packs are bugged and postponed, I had to think of another way to make this work, right? I had to get the community engagement. So also what we're going to have is, which I'm developing right now as we speak, a raffle DApp for the NFTs. So it's going to be mainly for the elite, our elite NFTs and our legendary NFTs. This is going to get me back on the live so everybody can start seeing me on lives again, hear my intro, all that great stuff. I'm going to make a live raffle and people can do the raffle live. So you're going to go to the DApp and everything where everybody can pay into the raffle, and it's going to do the randomization then and there. And whoever wins the raffle, the NFT is going to send it right to you. There you go. Boom, baby.
Fowler, I know that you're doing some amazing work, but could you just take a little time off and hang out, relax a little bit? I'm just saying, man. Just saying.
I can
When you're-
relax when I'm dead. That's
Yeah,
how I feel.
Fowler, when you're retired, you can say stuff like that. You know what I mean? The guy just
Right. I'm 37.
Think about it,
I'm
Chris.
trying to
You know
retire.
what?
when you were his age, you were working your butt. You know it, man. You know you were, man.
So I'm gonna move on because somebody's just.
Gotta burn
I
it.
want to
Hey,
bring
man.
up. I want to bring up this comment.
Is this
here.
a SmackDown coming? Go ahead.
Well, not on you.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not smackdown on anybody. It's just I'm
yeah.
I'm letting you guys know some of the observations that I see that maybe you could take with a grain of salt. Noah says Brian is still over there telling people it's still his blockchain. Yes, he's right. He's right. Vulcan blockchain will forever be his.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah, bud.
I have a blockchain too that hasn't launched.
Yep.
It's called the Snowy Goblin blockchain. And
Wow.
we can
Can I
talk
buy a
about
node?
forever.
You're
Forever.
not charging Bitcoin for those nodes, are you?
Yeah. It's like 10 bitcoins.
10 bitcoins.
10 bitcoins
Can't
for
afford it. I'm out.
a half a node. A half a node.
Half a damn. Okay. All right.
It's expensive, man.
He's got light year nodes.
We're
instead of light
probably
nodes.
never going to be able to launch it, though. I've mismanaged it so bad.
Oh, you're just short some devs.
Well, I mean, you've got a good example of how to mismanage it. So, I mean, it's not hard. Just go to that one Discord, figure it
Yeah,
out.
you can, you know what?
They got a roadmap and everything.
Yeah, he also said that the new name Discord was going to be deleted in 24 hours. I think somebody said it best. I think it was Elemental new name. He said it best when he said that take everything that you hear from him and you just crumple it up and throw it in the trash, because that's what it means.
Yeah, but I actually responded to him.
Yeah, let's just go with let's go with reality. Everything that's said, it usually ends up being crap. Even when you thought he was telling us the truth, he wasn't telling us the truth. So, yeah, he's in charge. He's in charge, and he will forever be linked to the Vulcan blockchain. And if it launches, he will still be linked to that. And then I would also recommend people that are a part of that blockchain. What's he going to do with the 6 wallets, the top 10, 6 of the top 10 wallets that are his? So what kind of sell pressure is that going to have? And if it doesn't launch, yes, you are still going to be in charge of the Vulcan blockchain. So there
Yeah,
you
Chris,
go.
looks like you got a lead dev in there, man.
Snowy Goblin. You guys like that? I think that's a good one. There's
I
probably
like-
two
Yeah.
other ones, yeah.
Hell yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be
I
in
mean-
charge of a glorified digital paperweight if it
Yeah.
doesn't launch.
And
Just
I hear
so
he's
we
real. And I heard he's
understand.
cheap too. I heard he's real cheap. Real cheap. So
My blockchain will never launch because of complete incompetence and mismanagement. And like you said, Kryptonian, I learned from the best at that.
from the
So
best. Yeah.
there you go. That's my point of view as it is right now. You're not going to steal my joy, dude. So
Well, but
I'm not-
one thing I
I'm
want
not
to
listening
add.
to that stuff.
One thing I want to add is, yeah, you're right. Anything the man says, write it down, crumb it up, throw it in the trash. But before I do that, I screenshot it and I send it to my legal team because they're gonna need it. I'm just saying, So
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's hey, you know what? And with the stuff with the negotiations or whatever we're going to call it, the agreement or anything like that, I truly believe that Nick is trying to he'll try to negotiate the best for the community. I think he'll want to move forward totally separate. I think, like I said, every negotiation you don't get everything you want, so I'm expecting a few things that I'm probably not going to like. I hope they're minimized, but at the same time, I want to see it. I want to get through it and everything. But the way I see it, and this is, Nick said that he said quite a few things in the Discord. So I mean, people do your research. Maybe go check out some of the comments that he replied to and stuff like that. But my thing is, I want to, like Greek was saying, I want to be done with this. I want us to be separated. I want us to be moving forward. Whatever Nick can come up with to help us get coins, and what Nick is going to want to do from what we sacrificed in Vol. I mean, that might be the negotiations, how much that he can do and things like, I don't know that all that stuff, but whatever we can get. I mean, the way I see it, where we're at, that ain't never going to be a blockchain, and it never was going to be a blockchain. And if it is going to be a blockchain, there's so much. There, people on the outside are like, nah, I ain't having anything to do with that blockchain. So that's a way uphill battle. This way, separate ourselves. And if Nick can pull in and give us some, try to make us whole with what we sacrificed in Vulcan, and we can move forward. And hopefully it's minimized. People that have small bags, hopefully they don't have to put any money up or anything like that. Hopefully it works out for everybody. And I would rather it fail with Nick than ever even be successful with the previous guy in that team. Period. I don't want that money. I don't want that profit. I don't want to be a part of that. That's ill-gotten gains is what it is. You had to rip people off to get to the point we're at now. So whatever Nick's going to do, I hope it's good for all of us. And I hope we see it. And the bad things, hopefully we can adjust or whatever. But I'd rather go this way no matter what. But hopefully Nick comes back and we hear something, maybe when we're live or maybe early, this evening or something. But sooner the better. That's all I'm saying. I'm just screaming sooner the better. So, All right, I'll stop talking and let you do the SmackDown now.
I mean, how do I follow that act, man? I mean, obviously you had a teleprompter up the whole time because there's no way you remembered all that. And
Oh God.
like that one, that was a good one. I thought that was a pretty good one.
Sometimes I want to get mad at you.
Original.
That was a zinger.
Sometimes I want to get mad at you when you
That's
say
right.
some of those things, but I'm like, he's so funny, and I agree with
Well, I
him.
appreciate that. Tell you what, I think at least you think I'm funny.
guy
My
just
wife-
insulted
my wife
you,
hates
be
my
mad.
jokes.
You
I was like,
40-year-old.
You need to go upstairs. Those guys will laugh at your stupid jokes. And I get to hang out with you guys, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Your family's like, you're not that funny.
You're not that fun at all. I'm not. But I agree with you 100%, you know, 1,000%. I would much rather, move forward with Nick's plan or the blockchain he's going to be, hopefully running with, other than jumping back into bed with guys that like a man that likes Asian boys. You know what I mean? That's just kind of gross. Lady boys, what do you want to call them? It's just the thing that just the thought of that guy, man, just disgusts me. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. So I want to be as far away from that project as humanly possible. But you're right. He can absolutely have Vulcan. It's his. It will forever go down as probably one of the biggest scams when it comes to blockchains, at least for the next, I would see before the next bull run. You know what I mean? So, because at the end of the day, like Brian's a scammer, but he ain't the best scammer. Unfortunately, there's gonna be other ones out there, right? He just happens to be the dumbest one, I think. But
Yeah, good thing he's got a pea-sized brain, because
yeah. Well, I mean, but I'm happy to see what happens in the next 24 hours. Hopefully, we come back with some good news.
yeah,
And,
supposedly Brian signed and Nick signed the new thing, and we're waiting on the other three. I just took a look at the wallet. The funds are still sitting in the old multi-sig, so I don't know.
I'm gonna find out.
We will see.
I'm gonna find out. I was hoping that I would wake up to some drama today. Like things change, but it seems to be going as planned. Sort of. Well, I was expecting to jump into that Discord and it'd be completely deleted. I actually asked Nick personally the moment he says, "Hey, we're in negotiations, blah blah blah," and I was like, "No," he says an agreement was met or was made or something like that. And I was like, my first question is the Discord being deleted per Brian Legend, and he's like, "No." I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, because
I like that, and I like how they're making mods again in Vulcan Discord and start banning people again. It's really nice. They're back to their old ways. They're banning people from
They do
I don't know
best.
what. They don't have anything. I don't know what you're banning us from. I didn't get banned, by the way.
you know that one photo that you sent earlier.
Oh yeah.
So I have an alt account, right? And I was in the Yomp Discord. And
You did.
I posted it. It was hilarious, man. It stood there for a good maybe 5 minutes, man. Because
great.
because it's surrounded by bots and they don't know what the hell's going on. All of a sudden, boop, it was gone. It was hilarious, man. It was hilarious.
Did they kick you?
Yeah, they kicked me, banned. Immediately, I got kicked out and everything. So it's all right. I got like
thought
10
it was a
other
good
accounts.
photo, but
The
apparently they
likeness
didn't
was
like it.
the likeness was uncanny. I thought he could grow a neck beard a little more, but I guess not. It ain't gonna happen. But
We showed the photo, but Kryptonian might lose his YouTube channel like Preto.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I don't want to do that, man. Don't do that. All right, so
Wait, this is on all ours. We'd all lose our channel.
what about you? We heard what Chris had to say. Obviously, all day, yesterday, the day before, on the space the day before that. But what about you, Odie? What do you got to say, brother? I love you, man.
Man, there is so much crazy crap. I mean, I'm being rhetorical, of course. When I woke up this morning, I heard a disturbing sound. Yeah. Actually, it was good to see the two updates that Nick has had today about, that he and Brian have reached some sort of an accord. And of course, we're all anxiously awaiting to find out what that is. And there's so much speculation, a lot in the chat going on. And some of those are things I'm feeling. It's like, on one hand, I'm thinking, well, I think Greek kind of touched on it at the beginning of the broadcast where, you know, Brian's going to probably at least take something. He's going to double dip again. I'm pretty sure that the agreement's going to involve him getting some kind of, you know, go away money, or okay, well, we're going to split X percentage of what's left with you, so you'll just go away, but you agree to be gone, or allow us to move forward from here, however you want to say it. And then my other mind is like, maybe we'll get lucky and Nick is the major negotiating tour de force that we have heard that he is, and that he's maybe been able to somehow, what are the words I'm looking for? He's been able to stem the bleeding, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, right? I mean, we've been bleeding money. Well, money's been bled from us. That's probably a better way of saying it, right? And maybe he's found a way to put a Band-Aid on that sucker and a suture or two. And okay, Brian's going to stay away. The other team's going to go, and then we're going to move forward with Nick. It's hard. It's really hard until we hear from the horse's mouth. You know, it's just speculation. It's hard to know which way to go. But for the most part, I kind of think that it's going to be the first. I was thinking that there's going to be some sort of compromise, like Chris was saying earlier. I'm pretty sure that we're not going to like everything we're going to hear. That's just to be expected, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But hopefully, there's more that we do want to hear than what we don't want to hear. I don't know how else to say it. Is that making any sense?
No, it does.
No.
It does.
We're not going to like everything we hear. I already know I'm going to be pissed off at some things, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you got to be pissed off a little bit if we want to get anything here, or we want to move forward and even get a blockchain. Like right now, if we stay the way we're staying with two separate, with the multi-sig just the way it is right now, I could kiss my money goodbye. But all I'm asking for is a fighting chance, and hopefully
a
this
chance.
deal gives us that.
Yeah. I'd rather have a chance with something that has, you know, I'd rather have 100% of a chance of something that possibly becomes something than 100% of a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I'm going to pull up the first comment here that we've got a couple of stars. If you guys got questions, or if you guys want to get it off your chest, put it up there. I'm going to do my best between Chris and myself and the guys up here. We'll do our best to put it up because we're here for you guys. We want to know what you guys have to say. You're going to hear us opining all night long, but we want to know what you because you're in this thing as well. So your thoughts and opinions are just as important. Running a tad bit late because I own an Android. We know, bro. We know.
I know. For heaven's sake, did you see
Take him
that?
3
text I
hours
had
to
today?
film his videos on his Android device.
Did you guys see that text I had today? Long text telling you how I felt about something and everything, and then I
Yeah, and
sent it.
there
I
was
look at it, I'm like,
spelling
what
errors and you
the
couldn't
hell
correct
am I
it.
saying? I just misspelled everything, and I can't edit it.
You
like, what the-
realized I can't spell.
Old people like me, man, we ain't got that time. I'm like, let me see here. There's newfangled.
He always
thing.
texts me on the side. He's like, I hate that other text.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He goes, Greek, you misspell everything, and you go back and you're typing 5 paragraphs to fix your thing. I'm like, I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's funny, man, when an image or a video gets sent. It's like this small, like.
I know. I can't get it. Did you see
Yeah.
the one that I sent to you? I sent it to you. I said, this is for you in the other chat. You can't
I
see it
saw
over
that.
there,
Yeah.
but look at it here.
Well, I sent him an iPhone 13 Pro Max. He should
Yeah,
get
that
it
was
on-
pretty super awesome of you, man.
Yeah,
That's-
Conformist,
I
the
always
nicest
like
guy in
that.
crypto, man. He does so much, man. He's helped a lot of people, so it's have no problem paying it forward. And
Hey, hold on. I'm interrupting you on this, man, because the thing that you did there, you sent him that iPhone, all right? And I know we're talking about it now and everything like that, but it was just between us. And that's what I'm saying. That's like that integrity thing. What do people do when people aren't watching? And you weren't doing that for cred or anything like that. That was
No.
behind the scenes. It was like, dude, I just want you to have one so you're on, and you
He's
sent
doing
the
it for you,
guy-
Chris.
Huh?
He was
doing it for
trying to
Fowler,
save
man. Fowler was
himself.
losing his shit. He's like,
Yeah.
Chris was
Fowler's like,
losing
I'm sending high res images and can't nobody see them.
Listen, man, I was about tired of doing this and doo thing, man. This and doo stuff is ridiculous. I mean, every
I was
video,
dropping F bombs
Self-attack
in the
for
chat. I'm
saving
like,
himself.
whoa.
Funny, man.
every
That's funny.
video looks like I'm looking through beer goggles. Like I couldn't take it no more.
It's a very ugly. But I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah. I didn't. I mean, I remember him telling me he had an Android. You know, but I thought he was joking because most men are when they say they have one. You know, but you know, I'm just joking, kind of, sort of. But anyways, so I can't wait for him to get. He should get in on Thursday, and then he actually gets to send us a normal iMessage, a chat, and we can actually have real conversations. Not have to break it up and and put page numbers on it because you can't say more than 50 characters into it.
Every time you send a reaction, it actually writes out the reaction as
Yeah.
a text. Like what it says, such and such is like this. Like what?
Chris-
I don't know.
Chris-
He's looking at you.
Chris Cruz put the thumbs up on the image that you sent 5 minutes ago from Confirmant.
I
Okay.
don't know what I'm doing, man.
In Siri's like reading it back to me. I'm like, what's going on, man? No, I'm just kidding. But no, I can't wait for him to get it. It's. I'm not saying I've got plenty of iPhones to give away, but it was just a perfect storm. The guy needs it, and it's my pleasure. I hope he enjoys it, and you will.
Yeah,
You
we
will.
need it.
Yeah,
We
he's
all
gonna
need
enjoy it. Yeah. But back to what I was going to say was, or what I was saying, as far as if you got any questions, any comments, and we're sitting talking about what we think the negotiations are going to be about. And this I like this comment right here, so I'm going to bring it up. And this is from Mia Loves APY. Mahal. Mihai?
Mihai.
Mihai?
It's Mihai. Mihai.
Mihai Loves APY. All right,
I know
so,
a guy named Mihai, and it's
yeah.
spelled that way.
Oh, okay. Cool. So this is the guy?
No,
Oh,
but I just
This
know
is-
somebody with their name, and they spell it
Oh, okay.
exactly that way. So I'm just saying it's probably Mihai.
I know a guy named Greek, and he spells it with a little g. But lowercase g. He says, "I'm curious how you They say, I'm curious how you negotiate with scammers. How is that going to work? Have them sign something that really means something coming from them. How do you release any funds without getting screwed?" And that's a really good question. And we all have this question in the back of our heads, and if not, burning in our freaking guts here. You know what I mean? Like, can we trust that they're going to follow through? And I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody has the answer to that. I think even if I was having to negotiate with them, it's almost, I think at the end of the day, my opinion is just like our funds are held hostage, and we delegated somebody to go in and get our money and get out.
The
And
only good thing here, and I will say this, is all those funds are basically held hostage from even them. So for the scammers to get some money in this situation, they got to come to the table and play nice a little bit.
True. Yeah, that's right. They hold the funds and he holds the code, right? So yeah, right. So
Yeah.
hold the code, man. Hold the code. Yeah. So we'll see. And he who has the most information wins the negotiation at the end of the day, right? So we'll see what happens, but there's always going to be a compromise, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, you guys are saying you're not always going to be happy, but will you be satisfied with the decisions made? And that's what's important. We
As
got
long as
another one
there's
here from
more that I can live with than what I can't live with, I can roll.
There it is. Yeah. There are just some things that I just, I just cannot walk away from. Slumdog, what's up, buddy? He says, if Brood is going to keep going after BL, then when we take back that fucktard Brood, sorry, Greek, I know you don't like that word. Brood will meme the fuck out of you guys. So sorry, man, I'm trying to use my.
Why don't you like
less-
fucktard, Greek?
Yeah, I don't
what
know. He's got a tattoo.
I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah, and it was a long night. Something about whiskey and just joking.
I never said anything. He's just like, oh, the Greeks monetized. I ain't monetized. Who cares about where? No, if you're talking about that guy, those words perfectly fine in my opinion.
All's fair in love and war. There
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, Brew going to keep going after the guy? Yeah, everybody's going after that guy. I'm going to say that. I'm not stopping. I will not stop until the guy is brought to justice.
He
Say
makes
that
it
right now.
easy. His patterns are. I'm
Yeah,
so
it's just
angry at
it's too
myself
obvious.
for
It's too
everyone.
obvious.
Yep.
Expect us is all I can say. We are many, we are legion. We do not forget, we do not forgive. Expect us, Mister.
Yeah, he had a group of 20 after him. Now he's
Yeah.
got a group of 80 after him, or 90, 100 after him. He just keeps increasing his numbers after him.
Yeah.
Go.
100%, right? So I think so. To your question, yeah, I think I don't. They at the end of the day, the truth is they never stopped. We wouldn't even be in this situation knowing about his shenanigans. We got Somebody beam you up? What's going on over there, Odie? Like you're fading
Hmm?
out. No,
No,
you're
it's the thing on my laptop.
oh, okay. But like I was
Trying
saying,
to
that
clear the
we wouldn't
background.
we wouldn't even be here if had those guys not been persistent and continually tried to let everybody know what was going on. So that's not going to stop. The train is in motion, and you can't stop a train, man. It has to stop on its own. Let's see, we got another one here. Joseph Dunlap says, I really want this blockchain to work, but at this point, I don't think anything is going to come of this. I know Nick is working hard, but I don't think I think it's happening. I mean, I'm sure there are many out there that feel that. I mean, if you think about just the roller coaster that we've been on. I mean, one day we're launching, the next day we're not. So I think there's some fatigue out there. There's a lot of fatigue, and if it doesn't happen, I'm like, I knew it wasn't going to happen. It's too good to be true. And I'm hoping that's not the case, Joseph. I'm hoping that's not the case. I hope we get something. Hell, at least refunds. I don't know. Get something. Something has to come out of this. Especially if there's a negotiation going on. There's some SIGs going back and forth. And Nick in his post said he's 80 to 70%, happy with whatever's going on, whatever the decisions that were made. So we'll see what that's about. There it is.
Yeah, you started us, so I brought it up for you because you were
Yeah, there you
talking.
go.
It was a perfect plug-in. It was teamwork right
Perfect.
there.
There it is, right there, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. What's that? We got super chat. Super chat. Let's bring that one up, guys.
My man, Tartar Madman, thank you so much for the super chat. My worry is that Brian Legend will get a massive chunk of the multi-sig, get to keep some of his top wallets and also founders tokens, non-negotiable for me. I will say this. If he gets a massive chunk of the multi-sig, I don't think Nick Kellyani would have said 70 to 80% happy. Like, that's not a good solution because now you're not giving us working capital. You're not giving us any liquidity. That would be stupid. Like, that would be a non-negotiable for me on his part. Like, whatever. And Brian's already taken enough, so that would just kill sentiment. His top wallets, there's no way he's going to be able to keep those. Like, there's just no way. Even from what I heard, Brian was okay in the regular Vulcan if they were doing it themselves, getting rid of those wallets because he knows he's scammed. Founders tokens, this is the part where, like, if we have to give up something, this is the part where you give up on founders tokens because you can put stipulations on them where you can't sell them. They're vested for 36 months. You could do, maybe that's the terms are working out on founders tokens. You got to give something here. And that's the problem. Brian's not just going to be like, oh, here, go release a blockchain and give me nothing. Brian's narcissist. He's going to ask for something. Let's just hope it's founders tokens because those can be controlled. And we'll see.
Yeah. Let's hope that's all it is. Let's hope. We got a comment here from straight at you, Odie. From Sunny T. Odie, I think you're right. Remember, BL deserves coins, but sometimes you just got to get it done, man. Yeah, I guess so, right? Yeah. You got to get her done.
Yep.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I like the way
right?
Sunny thinks. Yeah. I mean, we just got to get this over with. Let's just hurry up and rip the Band-Aid off and then deal with what happens next. And yeah, I tell you, this anticipation, that's killing a lot of us. Oh my gosh.
I just want to move forward. I'm sick of the drama. I'm sick of.
Yes. I'm too old for drama, man. I don't. Let's just move on. Get to the point.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Sunny has another Band-Aid for you to rip off here, Odie. She says, announcement predictions, 2 blockchains. What do you guys think? I know
I think that's a possibility.
Chris talked about that, earlier.
Blockchains?
Maybe a possibility, but you have one with no devs, then you have one with no devs, with devs, and nobody trusts the one. So good luck. Like, who's he gonna get? Triple Moon? Like, come on, is she gonna be the only one in there? Sorry.
Yeah.
I saw.
I just don't see
it irked me. Claim she's not on Team Legend.
Well, if
get
you
you.
just take it for what it is. I mean, on the outside, everybody knows about BL. I mean, and the enormous amount of sell pressure that's going to be on something like that with him having 6 of the top 10 wallets. And is he going to like, I mean, I can't even think about it. And you know what? I don't even care about it. If they launch something over there, that's great. You
Good
know,
luck getting on any exchanges. Good
Yeah.
luck getting anybody to build on that blockchain. There's going to be no trust whatsoever. It
Yeah,
won't.
his name is worse than it with us and everything like that. It's pretty bad. But out in the regular crypto space, they won't even give him the time of day, man. I
Yeah,
mean, look at his last token that he put out. People were like, you know, there were people in our community, and we had a few people that went into that or whatever. But you know, but look at where's the price right now? You know?
34 cents.
Yeah. So it's like really,
And 1.2K in volume for 24 hours, I think. I'm looking it up because I don't like giving.
right. So I mean, just look at that. I mean, and he even knows it too. I mean,
Yeah, he stopped pumping
know?
it because he knows it's a waste, even for him to
Right.
throw money at it.
and I thought I saw
35
something.
cents.
Somebody posted something in one of the I'm going to have to be very cautious with how I say this, the a-hole discords. I saw somebody post something in there that said that you know, he announced to the Yomp community that he'll be back full time. All right, so you know, listen, we could talk about it all day long, but I mean, I'm whatever Nick's going to come out and say, whatever he's going to do. I'm you know what? I'm going
down to
with
the
Nick.
Yomp God. Look at this chart.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm going with Nick, and I'm not going to let him steal my joy and everything like that. The only thing I'm concerned about is the innocent people that are over there that maybe they don't know everything and everything like that, and if they get caught up into some more of this stuff. I mean, there's a meme going around where it looks like the Titanic, you know, and it just lists out all these different projects that this guy has been a part of and where, you know, and where they're at. And it's like, if he really has a soul and he really wants to do the right thing, sever all ties, you know, try to do something good for the community of people that are left there and everything like that. Try to make amends somewhere. Start trying to make amends, but then he'll post things that, you know, the other Discord will be deleted in 24 hours. Even if you guys didn't have any kind of agreement, you don't own that, dude. What are you talking about? You know, you're not going to delete that. If Nick decides to delete it, then I will be like, Nick, why are we deleting it? I will talk to him about it. Why do you say things like that? Start making amends, man. And if you don't think that you've done anything wrong this whole entire time, maybe you should talk to somebody and maybe actually listen, because you've burned and hurt a lot of people. Start making amends, man. Start doing the right thing. Even if you can't make up for everything, try to make up for some things. Try to do the right things.
Never
That's
too late to do the right thing.
right.
One thing I always tell people:
Yeah.
you can always do the right thing, even if you're a
Right.
criminal. You can do the right thing on your way out. Do the right thing.
Everybody's done things that they're not proud of, but it's how you react after you do those things. Have a little bit of character, a little bit of honor, and a little bit of dignity. And I'm not saying, you know, I don't know him that well, but I do know the result of his actions, and they hurt a lot of people. And it's not like people that are educated on, you know, trading and, you know, understanding finance markets and manipulations and things like that. It's people that genuinely were like, you know, hey, I got this extra money from my hard-earned paycheck. I'm going to put it in this project and keep getting burned left and right. It's like, you know, come on, man. You know you're not doing something right. Are we talking about this comment up here? I didn't know where we're at. I just started
Oh, yeah.
talking.
I
No,
was
no.
reading the next
was-
comment he started, and I started chuckling in my head because
Is there a chance to return our money, even half of it? This is a question from Joel. The scammer has no soul and has a very thick face.
I will say this: the fact that he's negotiating tells me there's not a chance. Why are you negotiating anything if you had any chance of helping the community? If you really said you cared, if he was to do the right thing in this situation, I'm telling you how the right thing would look. He'd sign over the wallet all to Nick Caliani and say, get your multi-sig set up. I'll send over the funds. And then he'd say, by the way, I feel bad for all my wrongdoings and I care about this community. And this is what if you guys can figure out the amount that I've taken, I will replenish 50% of it, or I'll agree to something. That's doing the right thing. But negotiating and trying to, I don't know what he's negotiating here. Like, the fact is, he's got really no negotiation. He's just probably trying to get some of that multi-sig funds, take even more, which shows you he's a scumbag. So
Yeah, you're right, Greek. That's the only way. I mean, if he was wanting to do the right thing, that would be the only way to do the right thing. But there should be no negotiation if he really does care about the community, like he's professed to do for this last year and a half ish.
Kryptonian, I don't want to hijack your live and everything, but I want to address
No,
these
it's
two
our live, brother.
comments
It's
that are
our
here.
live, man. Go ahead.
And Wise Choice Money, I saw what you're talking about earlier about we're probably running late because I had to go to the bathroom. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
they were waiting for the Greek. My friend was
Just
over.
saying.
Mhm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But
It's
Wise Choice Money says maybe the YouTubers and Brood should do a PSA to those who got scammed in other projects he's had, band together and get him locked up for good. And then ANA says, what's crazy? The way we feel for those joining Yomp that don't know about Scam Egghead. I like that one. I do like that one.
That one's good.
Is how someone felt for us joining Seifu or Vulcan from this previous project. The cycle continues. Yes. And that's why I say that I will do anything that Brewfied, anybody that has any substance that would need me. You probably don't want me on something like that. You probably want someone like good looking, articulate person out there saying those things like Greek, and have them doing those things and stuff like that.
Anybody
and I
else?
would, if you need my help, I will 100% do it. And I am open to anything Brewfied has or anybody doing that stuff. But it is, and I know you guys are just sitting there and you're saying, it's not our job to FUD, whatever. Other people think of FUD differently in other projects. I'm not saying I don't want to go in there and be like, oh, you're all a bunch of losers. No, we need to educate them, smart, educate them respectfully and everything like that. But it is all of our responsibilities. Everybody's watching and people that aren't watching, anybody's associated with this, to respectfully go explain to people what has happened in the past and just let them know and let them make their own decisions. It's not. I mean, we have a platform. I'm open to anything you guys want me to do or anything like that. But we all need to do it in just your regular conversations. Be respectful. Don't cuss them out or anything like that and call them stupid. They don't know any better. I mean, we've all been there where we're like, oh wow, this is great. I'm gonna make $1 billion. All that. Okay, well, let's bring them back to reality respectfully, and let's do that. Let's make sure we keep an eye out for those things and start protecting other people too. But I'm just saying they were talking about that. But what I would do is I would take factual information, put it in some type of thing. Like Greek is great at it. You watch his videos, what's going on. I mean, him and the same like Conferment is with his technical analysis and stuff like that. You know what's going to happen with the chart. He calls it like all the time. And then Greek, what's going on, and he keeps it short, so you're not like listening to Kryptonian and I run our mouths for 3 hours. So
True.
I haven't run my mouth one time tonight. One time.
you started a little bit.
Putting my dog to sleep, okay?
I thought that was a puppet. Hey, remember when Prado had that puppet of you made? Remember that? Did he ever make that?
No, that was your group that had the puppet made. Prado
No.
kept talking about the puppet. Your group actually made a puppet of me.
What? No, it was. I mean, it was a sock.
Randall made the puppet sock.
Sock puppets? Are we really going there?
No, I was joking, man. I just did.
Was it Randall? No, it wasn't Randall. It was I forget who it was.
Yeah, I forget, man.
That was a while ago. I can barely even remember that,
Yeah.
but I do.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
about a year ago. Man, time flies, guys. Time flies. But PSA, but doing the whole PSA thing, yeah. I mean, I'm down for that as well. Count me in. Anything. I've always wanted to be of some value to the space more than anything. Yeah, I want to be in the space, make some money like everybody else. But if I can if I can help this space be better in any way, then count me in. You know, and if that means me getting out of the way, you know, count me out. I mean, I want to make sure that the space moves forward. The problem isn't the tech; it's the people. And once we get the crappy people out of the way, you know, then the tech does what it's supposed to do, right? Right. Here's a question from Ashley. She says, "So where do node holders stand in the situation?" Speaking to the negotiation, right? Well, we don't know what the negotiation terms are yet. Are we free to go with Nick? I assume so. That's a good question. You know, that's a very good question.
Well, the Nick is. I mean, are we free to go with Nick? Nick is, from what he talked about in his AMAs and everything like that, is that he is going to try to honor. I mean, and this is fluid. He's talking to people and moving around, and then it got interrupted by taking care of this. But he's going to try to make as many people whole as possible. Node holders, all that. A lot of questions were asked and answered. He's going to try to do all that stuff with what people have sacrificed, node holders, and all that kind of stuff. But you know, again, these are all things that are going to have to be worked through, and we have to be involved. We have to talk to Nick. We have to make sure that everybody gets heard. I mean, your questions and everything like that. If you don't get them answered in here or when Nick is live, send them to me. I'll forward them to him, and he replies, and I'll screenshot it and send it back to you. And I've done that several times. And you know, we all need to make sure that we are heard by Nick. Whatever comes of this negotiation and everything like that, like I said, hopefully it's tonight or soon or whatever. But if not, whenever it is, let's understand it, ask questions, read through it and everything like that, and then start moving forward to getting to the questions of how is this going to be set up. We're going to have a DAO. We're going to have, what's going to happen with the node holders. What's going to happen to, he tried to talk a little bit about, you would get like 5,000 free, was it? And then he changed it to like 10. Then there's a vesting period. Then I thought someone said 15. I was like, man, this thing is fluid, but whatever everybody works out and whatever.
It's all fluid. I'm sure we'll get a lot of information once this deal is finalized, and then he can be like, okay, this is what funds we actually have, because, before he was begging for everything. So
I agree with you, Kelly. And some of us are daddy's favorite. I'm just going to say that right now. We already know who that guy is.
I just want to know where the KYC information.
There's only one. We know who that is, huh?
Who holds the KYC information? Does it go? Who's like?
Well, Nick did say that he was asked this the other day, and he said that he trusts the company that actually handled the KYC, and says he would move forward with them.
Okay.
Well,
as long as that information is there, they hold the information, and then like Brian doesn't have access to that because I don't. That's a lot of information.
It is, yeah. I mean, it is. It would really. I mean, I of course, I KYC'd, and it's just the fact that.
Check the private chat, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Super secret sauce.
Super secret sauce, man.
Ooh.
In the words of Greek.
Ooh.
Boom. Boom.
I like how he says, check the private chat.
Yeah, guys, it's a secret. Check the private chat. I gotta go. Guys,
We've got a secret.
Guys,
guys,
make sure you do it, guys.
Guys.
I think he thinks we're backstage all the time. He seriously, he jokes around that for him, this isn't like he's live. He's just hanging out with friends. I seriously think he's just hanging out with us every single time he's on. Just check the backstage. Now everybody in the comments is gonna be like, "What are they talking about? What are they talking about?"
When I was just messing with you, he's got to go pee again. He had too much.
What he said.
He had too much Sprite.
That's what's funny. He had too much bourbon already.
Yeah.
Told him to invest in a catheter. He ain't listening.
Catheter.
Jeez.
That's what us old guys are supposed to be using, right?
I saw a comment here that I've got to address. And at the end of the day, man, it's not cool, man. Where's it at? Let me pull it up here. Shadow, I don't own a Chevy. I own a GMC. And I do have a couple iPhones, man. I mean, you know, for work, because the Droids, they just don't last. Batteries don't last, dude. That's a whole other story. We'll do a tech talk, you know.
I was
We'll talk about
hardcore
that.
Android when they first came out. I got the T-Mobile G1, figured out how to hack it, put new ROMs on it, and then all 5 of my kids and my wife, we were swimming in Android for like 5-6 years straight. But the problem that I had with Android, and I think they're fine, but the updates don't last. I mean, it's like 1.5, 2 years, and then there's no more updates. iPhones
Yeah,
is different, right? They last, the updates last many years longer. And
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
to the point, a lot of them would freeze on me. It didn't matter which one, brand new or not. I had problems, and I was constantly being tech support for my family with all 7 of our phones. So I said, I'm going to try iPhones. And I've been doing iPhone since 2011, and I've never looked back. I've never had one iPhone for, again, 7 of them in my family. Never crashed, never rebooted, never froze, nothing. So there you go. I do what works, and that works for me.
And they work, you know.
And they're
Yeah.
simple and
Yeah, they're
clean.
simple, yeah.
And they do
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
you want to do easily. You don't have to go to like 5 different screens.
Yeah, I know, right? That's crazy, man. It's like,
I like the choice that you get with Android. I mean, I'm a nerd. I've been a nerd my whole life. I love all that kind of stuff, but not when I got to do it on all the phones in my house constantly. It's just like I need it to be simple. So that's
like
what works for me.
when I'm messaging a guy with an Android, it's like I can just send him a message quickly, like, "Hey, man, you want to meet for lunch?" And I gotta wait because he has to pull up the keyboard, find the app, figure out which keyboard he wants to do.
Yeah,
You know,
he's
do
gotta
I
be
want to
like-
add an emoji? I mean, he's got 20 steps to send me. Yeah, let's have lunch. You know, it's all good. It's all good. And then it comes back to the green message. I'm like, what the- I lost my appetite. I don't like green.
And we're not bashing them. It's
No.
not for me. That's all.
Yeah,
I
same
like
here.
my
Yeah,
iPhones. And,
in my world, you know, as an IT guy, I prefer my clients have Androids. It's just because it's work for me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you got Droids, great. I'll be seeing you weekly. You know? Yeah, we can set those up for you. Absolutely.
buy that Daihatsu. We'll
Yeah,
be glad
buy
to
that
fix
Daihatsu.
it for you.
But I appreciate
Dog.
that, Shadow. You thinking of me, man?
I'm glad we're making some people laugh. You know?
Yeah. I told you he had to pee. We know he had to pee. You know, no, I'm not gonna go there.
Never
that's
going
what
on
he
a road trip with Chris Cruz.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can't.
I went pee before the live because that's how it works. Because these lives they go for forever, so I got to make sure I do my intake and take care.
This is why when you get older, you buy an RV and go on a road trip because that way you gotta
Uh-huh.
stop to pee. You just walk to the back of the damn bus. You know, I mean, if we already know, yeah, you just pull over. You know, anyways. But
Well, like you're a fellow
I'm not-
biker. You're a fellow biker. What do you do when you get with a group of your bros and you're going to go riding for the day? You go pee before you go on the saddle,
Long
right?
before.
And every time, man, we'd go to Starbucks and
and
meet up.
I don't gulp. I sip. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
going on
exactly.
2 hour
You
ride.
don't gulp.
Yeah,
Because
just,
30 minutes later, guess what we're doing? We're looking for a garbage or a gas station or
you
somewhere
gotta
off the side of
hey,
the
everybody,
freeway.
you got you're flagging everybody
Yeah.
down. You know, and
Like Larry,
Yeah,
you're
it's a
killing
wa-
me, man.
it's a
You
waste
are
of time,
seriously
yeah.
killing me.
yeah, especially when you're on the road, man. There he is. What's up,
I
Chris?
can just imagine what you guys were saying. What were you guys saying, huh?
Guys, I'm back.
The whole
I'm,
time your mic was on and we
As
heard
long
the
as you
toilet
didn't
flush.
have any toilet paper trailing behind you back to that seat, you're good.
You know, I'm just going to say this right now. I never left this seat.
That's gross, but I believe you.
I didn't go to the bathroom either, dude. I never left.
Hey man, whatever. Sky, what's up, buddy? Yeah, he does own a Ford, and he had it 2 years, and it's been in the shop repairs 10 times. Exactly, he does own a Ford. Right, Shadow.
But wasn't he talking about the Tesla the other night?
Yeah, he had a Tesla. Yeah, I mean they're fast. Don't get me wrong; those jokers are fast. But
Sky High, dude, don't. Let me tell you something, Sky
Don't
High.
shake that,
Next
dude.
time I see your number come up on my phone, I'm just hanging up, dude.
hey, Sky, when you call me, don't call me at 4 a.m, bro. I missed your call, dude. You know, call me like 7:30ish. I'll be up about that time. But I mean, to catch the call. I wake up and I miss his calls, man. And he and I have had good conversations.
Yeah, but you're on the same time zone as him.
I am, but he's up at like freaking 3 a.m. and probably I don't know. I mean, he's just on that.
He
He's on
called
that
me the
military
other
time.
day, and him and I were talking for a little bit, right? You know, and I said, "Well, I gotta go, man. I gotta eat dinner and everything like that." And he's like, "Dinner? What the heck are you talking about dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude.
Like it's like 4 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock or something." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot." He informed me, and I'm sure he won't mind this story, but he informed me that I live in the wrong time zone because that's why they call it central, because it's centrally. This is the time, the real time. So I was like, you know, that's fine because half the year, well, a little bit less than half the year, I'll be in central time, and the other half I will be in the wrong time, I guess. So when I'm down there, I'll be like, yeah, central time's the right time.
No, when you're
By the
down
way-
here, you're gonna be going to bed early. Okay.
Oh no, man, it's different life down there.
It is, man. We actually got like real barbecue, like
Well, I'm
real
in
grass.
Destin.
We don't
I'm
have
in Destin.
our yards
I'm
aren't filled
not-
with turf. You know, we actually have real grass out
I'm
here.
not over there with the crazy Texan people, man. You get
Crazy Texans.
Yeah, you guys over there. That's what happens when you're in Destin. It's all nice and everything. And as you travel, when you go west
Destin's
about
nice,
like
yeah.
I-10 and everything, it's just you're just going crazier and crazier down there.
Well, if you're going through Louisiana, but when you get to Texas, it's
No,
cool, man.
Louisiana's all good. When you get out of Louisiana, it's like, oh man, here we're going to Texas.
Nah, what are you talking about, man? Texas,
love
Texas is
Texas.
the safest place in America, man.
It's great.
in my
place.
opinion. I mean, I know.
Shadow
I mean,
X, man. Look at that. Look at that profile picture.
I'd like to hear what people are paying for gas right now today.
oh, dude, I just
yesterday,
paid $4
Go ahead.
$4.49.
$4
How much?
today?
$4.
$4.49.
$6.10 a gallon in Seattle for
Thank you,
premium.
$4. Thank you, $4.
5.5 roughly for mid grade.
They don't
Dang,
like
man.
you over there, do they?
No, they
like
don't.
you.
Oh, gosh.
That's why everybody protests here all the time.
Are you like in North Korea or something? Where exactly are you at?
I
Like,
swear it feels like it, dude.
God dang,
Park
$6.
police are right down the street.
I mean, does your gas last longer or something? What is it?
God,
Does your
I
car
wish it
fly?
did. Dude. I mean, gas always goes up in the summer, right? For summer driving and all that stuff like that. They sock it to us. But out here, I looked it up the other day. Washington is one of the 3 most expensive states to get gas in the country. It's just ridiculous.
So
It
is
is,
it? OPC says in Canada it's $1.59 a liter. So is that $6.40 a gallon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
it's
question.
crazy. It's 4
Yeah.
liters a gallon.
Damn, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. You know
It's
what?
nuts.
We're complaining about it, but we just pay it, right? We just pay it, right? We feel like we have no choice, but you do. You think about it.
Did I do that?
And Jaco's right, and I want out. All these
Because you live in
right-wing extremists are just too much, man. It's enough.
The right
Get on
wing.
my bike and move the F out.
There's right wings out there, like extremists out there where you're at.
God. Oh,
No
we just
way.
have, we have a
Like,
bunch of,
I've never met a right wing extremist or really a left. I hear about them on Fox News and CNN. You know, I mean, they apparently they got videos of them. I can queue up a video quickly, but here in Texas, man, everybody's cool, man. Everybody's chill. I mean, politics, you know, left, right, whatever. But for the most part, you know, we're all Texans here, man. You know, well, most of us. We got those from California that come down here and, you know, buying up all our houses.
California
Stop that
and Texas.
Stop that shit, man. Yeah, yeah, because
Hey,
now,
they've been, dude, it's your turn, okay? It's your freaking turn. Seattle has been taking SoCal refugees since the late 70s, okay?
SoCal refugees.
It's your turn.
That's funny, man.
Dude, all the people I went to high school with in the 80s, almost all of them were from Los Angeles, all over Southern California, because it was cheaper in Seattle for a long time. It just recently changed. It's now, on the average, $400 more a month expensive in Seattle than it is in Los Angeles. The tide has changed. It's turned. It's now a little bit
you know,
more
like
up here.
they'll have like a 800 square foot house in California, sell it for $1 million. Come down
Yeah.
here, buy a 3,000 square foot houses, you know, for the price of one here in Texas. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Bigger house, bigger lot and everything. It's very expensive up there, man, or over
Yeah,
there. But
and Slumdog, you're right. Seattle is woke as F. You got it. It's beyond woke. It's too woke. Yeah, $1 million house in Seattle doesn't even get the barometer going much anymore. It's not like it's a big deal, and that's just messed up.
Zero for gas, but how much are your tires, bro?
Well, you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about all that stuff and everything like that.
It still
takes
all the gas.
Does people do people? I mean, do they? I mean, I imagine you do. If you're Tesla, you're probably thinking this through. But do they check like their electric bill and stuff like that? I mean, is it like they're not paying for the gas, but they're paying a boatload in electric? Or I mean, how's that been going with Tesla people? You know, I'm curious as to like, so if I bought a Tesla and had like a charging station in my garage, pulled in, plugged it in every day, and make sure it's charged up, all that stuff, would my electric bill like skyrocket? And instead of buying the gas, I'm paying.
It doesn't go up as much as you think.
Yeah,
You
I don't
can
think it
set
does,
your
yeah.
Tesla on the app to find the least kilowatt hours.
Yeah,
the
the
annual
off-peak,
charge
you can
in
have
those
a
hours
charge.
a night. And non-peak. My friend has one. He said his bill only went up like $65 a month for his electric bill.
Yeah, but and that's another thing too. How much is he driving to the point where it's almost the, you know?
Is you driving to E or
Yeah, is he driving like
0?
2 miles a day and it's like
The
60
electric
bucks?
cars, they
He's
don't
driving
heat
to
up.
1%, I guess.
Drives it normally and then plugs it in, and at those hours it just fills it up and it stops charging it once it's full. So he really doesn't ever have to focus on like.
How many charges does a Tesla get in its life?
That's a good question.
Well, they say that the batteries are supposed to last like 1,000,000 miles. I could swear that 1,000,000 miles worth of charging,
Yeah,
even
but
though
they do lose
great.
range. They do lose range, so they lose effectiveness.
Yeah.
The battery still works; it just loses effectiveness. So rather than getting 300 miles of range, you're getting like 240.
Oh hell
Yeah.
no! I drive
Rivian's
300
on my
miles a
radar.
day.
That's what I'm
I
looking
drive
at.
300 miles. Especially in
And
Noah
Houston.
seems to know
Electricity is
quite a
super
bit
cheap.
about. I guess he's got one. Him and Shadow X, they're pretty
Yeah, everybody's
knowledgeable
got
about it.
one, loves it that I know of, and I can't wait to get mine, my Cybertruck.
Oh, listen, C.
I
Rodriguez.
do a Cybertruck. I would do a Cybertruck, man. For sure.
I think you should get a Nikola truck, Greek.
Nicola.
What the heck is that?
That's that big scam. Oh my God, BL probably learned it from that guy. There's a guy that started a company in, what was it, 2014 or 15, and it was called Nikola. It was going
Sir,
to be the
I'm not going to
first.
buy into another scam, okay?
Yeah, please stop your
It's gonna be
friend.
It was going to be
You're
the first.
you're
You should
perfect
look
for
it up.
it.
No, you should look it up on YouTube, guys. It's really interesting because the short of it is he got a ton of VC money for to start the world's first semi truck, or I guess you call it a lorry in Europe, a tractor trailer that was all electric, all battery, and it was going to be the next revolution. He got billions invested, and when they did like their road test, there was a video of it going down the road and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, man, it's a fully working model and everything. And then when they found out after the crap hit the fan and they really found out what he was doing, it was being rolled down a hill. It didn't even have a motor in it. It didn't have batteries or nothing, because it was like Elizabeth Holmes and that whole thing with her. It was just all fake. It was the
That's
same
funny.
thing.
Look at the suspension. It's just freaking doing something.
Yeah, and the angle for the camera for this reveal video of, oh yeah, it's all working, they said on camera and everything. No, man, it was just rolling down a hill. Yeah. So there you go.
Hilarious, man.
Why don't you get yourself
You remember when the motorcycle, there was this kind of a scam, I guess, for motorcyclists. You know, one of the big things when you wear a helmet, you know, is you can't see behind you. So they had this helmet that came out. Somebody, I think I said they did like a GoFundMe. It was called the Scully helmet, and it had like a camera in the back or in the front where you can actually see behind you. And you had like a little eyepiece right here inside the helmet. They raised a few $1,000,000 for that, maybe $2-3 million, maybe more. And the guy that founded it, motorcyclists threw money at this thing, right? Because everybody wants to. I mean, this is where tech, I think, is really lacking in when it comes to motorcycle gear. You know, one of the things I want to do is I want to help innovate in that space because I'm a writer. But he got the money, and the first thing he went and did bought a Lambo, bought some Rolexes, hookers and cocaine. I mean, the classic, what they all do, right? And I think he went to jail. You know, it's crazy, man. But people were like, they were excited about it. He actually had a prototype, which was, he got at least that far. People actually sent money and pre-ordered it. They never got their helmets, but I almost did that too. They're about $1,500. I'm glad I didn't. I bought a Note instead. Just joking.
Oh my gosh, yes. So many things you could say.
Yeah,
But I
right.
bought a note instead.
Hey,
Or I
do
sacrificed
you,
my bag instead.
do you
Let's hope we
mind?
get some good news. At least some reasonably good news.
Do you mind if I play something?
Not at
Do
all.
what you need to do.
It'll
Me-
probably get us maybe hopefully it will give us some type of copyright thing because I would like to share that. I did not know that what you're talking about, Greek, but I would like to share this with this individual. You want to? It's like 3 minutes long. You guys want? You want? Oh, all right. Hold on a second. We'll go back to that later.
Hey, you might wanna
I'm
do
taking
some-
over. I'm taking over here real quick. We have what you call breaking news. Nick is here.
Hey guys,
What's up, Nick?
how are you?
Hey, Nick. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Hopefully you're feeling well. I know the flu can be
Yeah, I got a cough
taxing.
drop in my mouth here, so I can make it through this stream here.
All right.
All about halls with Mentholyptus.
All right. So, Nick, do you want me maybe to announce and the new name Discord? Do you want to announce that you're here? Maybe give it a little bit of time, see if people can show up and everything. You want to?
Yeah. Oh wait, you want me to post something there? Is that
No,
what
no,
you
no.
said?
Or you? Yeah. If it comes from you, people will probably listen to more than me because everybody like, what's that old man
All right,
talking
let me
about?
do that. Let me go. And
Yeah,
post that.
it's coming through. So if it comes from you, maybe we'll maybe we'll get some people. I'd like to see it go up a little
Can
bit,
you give me the link to post there, please, in the chat, Chris?
but yes, I will send it to you right now. Hey, you got it?
Yep.
All right. So I think everybody's excited. We got some numbers are coming up and everything like that. I would imagine, is this going to be one where you would want you want to be on here by yourself and you want to present anything or anything like that? You want us to be off?
I will be
or-
presenting something momentarily, but
Okay.
let's all stay on here.
Okay. What's up, Confirmant?
You're muted.
There you go, buddy.
You're muted.
God,
You're
Hey,
all
how's it
muted.
going?
What's going on? Happy to be a part of it.
So-
We both
I mean,
chose
you-
the perfect time.
You just show up when Nick's here. That's how it is.
No,
I
he was
mean,
coming. he was
Yeah.
on his way.
I know. I'm joking. It's all good.
hey, man, we've
Listen,
got
I-
East Coast, West Coast, and Central all represented here.
That's right. That's right.
All right,
I still like
Uh,
Eastern better.
cool. So I guess, do we want to wait for a few more people to join, or should I just get going?
I
Oh, that's
think that
I think we just saw it go up by about 25 people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's
Cool.
going
All
up.
right, let's just get going then. All right. So I'm pleased to report that after I think several days of negotiation, etc., we have signed a 5-party memorandum of understanding. The 5 parties being myself, Brian, Jason, Adrian, and Damien. And before I talk about the actual terms there, I want to talk a little bit about the questions that are probably floating around in people's minds. And I think the first question is, like, why negotiate, right? Like, why do anything like this? And so the answer to that is, first of all, I'm coming into this as a subcontractor responsible for delivering, two types of services: the actual blockchain and developer engagement. I have, regardless of whether you take it seriously or not, I have a fiduciary sort of responsibility to honor a contract. So that's essentially a liability. I have to deal with that somehow. I can't just say, well, I'm not going to do it and just leave it, right? That doesn't help. Secondly, everyone knows that we've kind of had a stalemate on the multi-sig funds. We have essentially 2 and 2. And we also had a lack of clarity regarding the project IP if we decided to just go our own ways, if you will, right? Like do whatever we wanted to You can't just do that. There is IP, etc. involved. It needs to be managed. So that's the first part. The second question is, I hear you know, people very adamantly saying you cannot give anything, right? Now we all know that a negotiation involves give and take. You can't have a negotiation if both parties come and say that these are my demands, and if they're not met, deal's not happening, right? You cannot have that. So that's why you call it a negotiation. You go back and forth until you reach a point where both parties are somewhat unhappy. So if you reach a point where both parties are somewhat unhappy, then I think that it's a decent. And the other thing is also, these situations are seldom black and white, right? There's a lot of gray that you have to deal with. So anytime someone says, okay, let's just do this, well, then the question always comes, and I use the term, what about? What about all these other things that stem as a result of whatever decision or negotiation point you've made, right? So that's the second issue. The third thing, the third trend, if you will, that I see in Discord all the time is asking me to take action. Just take action, right? It's easy to say, but again, my official position is not as an investor. I'm a contractor coming in here. There is no company. We don't have a company, an incorporated entity. And also, I personally have no legal standing in this, right? Legal standing is an important term for people to understand. You can't just do whatever you want to without legal standing. So these are important things to consider. And then finally, it's been almost a month now. Yeah, a month I'm into this. What's my job? That's the most important thing. Like, my job, as I view it, is to make this project successful. Like, there is a mess. I feel like I am in Pulp Fiction, The Wolf. Oh, I have to clean up this mess, and I have to take us forward. I cannot do this with all the distractions that we've got going on. It is just fundamentally impossible to have a clean path forward and actually focus on execution, on results, when there's just so much chaos on a daily basis that's going on. I also cannot do it with ambiguity, without clarity of purpose, without clarity of who is responsible for what, who is, in the game, who is not in the game, who is on our side, who is not on our side, etc. There's so much ambiguity there, and it needed to be resolved. And the last and most important thing is, it's not possible to do anything without capital, right? Like, with $0, what can I achieve? Now, I presented a plan for raising capital, but that is a future plan, right? Like, we can execute on that very quickly and we can get capital in, etc. But that still leaves us with the fact that there is approximately 900 and some odd dollars sitting in a multisig. That this is, the community's money. We should find a resolution for that, so that it can be used. Like, we should raise money. We need to raise money for liquidity. Everyone knows that. But it doesn't make sense to have this money sitting there in a multisig unused because we are not able to talk like adults and resolve things, right? So that's my position. That's where I'm coming from. And my focus, laser focus, is I want to build this organization, this ecosystem we've talked about, and move it forward. I don't want to spend time just bickering and making no progress while time passes by, and you get no value for your money. You get no ROI, right? So I'm focused on that. So the approach wanted to take is to talk, right? That was impossible until a few days ago, when Adrian essentially broke the stalemate. He, in sort of a show of trust, if you will, essentially surrendered his private key to Brian. This broke the stalemate. Now, you're probably saying, well, that's a terrible thing to do, right, etc. But from Adrian's perspective, he felt that it wasn't his decision, it wasn't his money, it was Brian regardless of what subsequently happened, it was his project that caused these funds to be raised, etc. And so he did that. Now, what that did do is set up the basis for us to start a conversation. And we did that. And that conversation has resulted today in a signed agreement between all parties and a way for us to move forward. It was a negotiation, and it is something that I know is not going to make everyone happy. 100%. I guarantee that. It is not going to make everyone happy. But my job, as I said, is to move this thing forward. So what I want to present here today is the terms we've agreed to, and you can take it out on me. You can. I fully expect Discord to go nuts and bring it down on me, and I'm prepared to handle it. But after almost two and a half days of negotiation and not sleeping much, etc., these are the terms we've come to. So what I would like to do is present the terms then, and then let's discuss them and see the rationale and see what could have been better, etc. But I'll tell you honestly, these are the very best terms we could negotiate. We couldn't do any, really tried, right? So let me share my screen here and present it. Before I do that, any questions or anything from anybody?
No.
No, do you want to be on the screen by yourself, or just show it full screen, or how you want to do it?
We can all be there. It's fine.
Okay. You ready?
Can someone share a banner with tinyurl.com/Vulcan-MOU?
You got that, Greek?
What are we doing?
I thought you were typing in the banner.
Hang on.
He wants a banner at the bottom with the link.
Oh,
I'm typing it in here. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That should be.
Oh, okay, I see it. I'll take care of it, Greek.
okay.
Okay, so I shared the screen here. We can also bring that up. All right, so what I'm going to do is just walk you through that. You can see that there's 5 signatures here. And the basic idea here is to go through the issues that people cared about the most. So let's start off first with token allocations. Now, this has not changed in the totality. It has moved around between entities. And so these are the token allocations that were essentially in the presentation I did. There were 7.5 million. So this is exactly that. If you add it up, that's what it should be. And what this is exactly the allocation. So the first is 2 million to ePlays Labs, which is essentially 2 and of the former leaders. Then there is an allocation for me, there's an allocation for Brian, an allocation for Jason, and then a team allocation, which will be spread out among multiple people as we add more people on here. The basic rules around these allocations are they are locked for 6 months, and then they vest for 30 additional months after that. So that's a total of 36 months of vesting on those tokens. So so that's the token allocation. The only thing that has been taken off here from what I presented earlier is the revocation part. Other than that, it's exactly what I presented earlier with the numbers moved around. Like I said, the numbers have been changed slightly. All right. So there's been a lot of questions about Brian's multiple wallets and all that. So we've basically deleted a bunch of them, but there's only one wallet here that we will honor that has 211,295 tokens. So this one would be honored as part of the agreement. The next item here is the pending developer invoice, so we can get moving on it. That will be paid within 24 hours of now, so it would be paid. This is a long block of text around the Discord, etc., but I'll just get to the chase on it. What it says is that until there is a new brand name, the the current sort of Discord, the Vulkan Discord, that is the primary one for the project. But as soon as there's a new brand name, the one that we have that's called new name, that becomes the primary one for the project. So it's basically what we expect. We didn't. We are already using the new name one, but for technical reasons, like what is the primary server? Well, it's the Vulkan one right now. And it does say though there that the owner of it would be Jason, but he would do no administrative function at all on that server also. But again, we are very close to doing the rebrand anyway, so it's really not that important a point. The new name server will not be deleted. This is a part of the discussion we had. It will stay, and again, it will become the primary one with the new name. Right? Let's look at the roles going forward. So Brian will have no involvement in the project, none. He has involvement in the multi-sig right now, but that is resolved in this document a little further down, and you will see that. The remaining three, for all practical purposes, I'm calling them advisor. So they will have no formal role in the DAO anymore. They would essentially be, if you will, consultants who would report to me, and that's the best deal I could negotiate. But this is what everyone wanted: is no involvement from the existing team, and that's what you have here. But again, remember what I said earlier: there's no black and white; it's gray, and this is the best deal I could arrive at, which is no formal involvement. But if I need them, then they would be available. Okay, the next thing is operating capital, right? So we have a multi-sig now, and we basically are saying here that the spend from that would not exceed 150K per 30 days, and also the funds would be controlled. As they are moved, would be controlled in a new multi-sig. That's going to be a 4 of 5. That 4 of 5 is going to be myself, the technology council lead, who's Prabhu, who's been doing the lead development for the blockchain. There is no ecosystem council lead right now, but so we will choose one of the validators, probably one of the node gods, to be a signer. Next, there is no creator council lead right now, so we would vote in a member from the community. We'll just do an open vote and choose someone from the community. And the fifth one is also a vote from the community. So what we have now is essentially, as these funds come from the multi-sig that is currently the controversial one into this new one, it is largely controlled by the community. As you can see, it's essentially 3 people from the community versus myself and Prabhu. The idea here is this is an interim measure. As I have promised, we are going to have very good financial controls in the DAO. And so we will have multiple tiers of multi-sigs, multiple levels of financial approvals, etc. But in order to get this done quickly, this is a reasonable thing where there's a community majority on the multi-sig, and the community can approve or disapprove expenses that I bring, or basically I'll be bringing the expenses at this point until we get further along. So everything will be transparent and everything will be open. I have one constraint I put here, that they cannot be the same person in multiple seats. Each has to be a unique individual, and I want every one of them to be doxed and fully KYC'd. So you cannot have someone who does not want to be doxed to be a signatory on this. You have to be willing to reveal everything, and you have to be willing to go through a complete KYC. So that is the interim multi-sig, and it affords us the protections that we need. It would also be the multi-sig that any funds we raise right now would go into until we have the formal DAO structure. I feel quite safe with this because it is a 4 of 5 with 3 members of the community represented in there. Okay, what happens to the multi-sig? So basically the multi-sig, once the RC1, RC2 are completed and we have a production grade DEX and a production grade mainnet, all the funds would be transferred to the multi-sig I just described, the 4 of 5. So whatever the balance is in there would be transferred over. And so that way we would essentially have back the balance. And since we expect that to happen very shortly, we are talking about a matter of a couple of months at the most for this to happen. So, yep. And then the next one is a DEX. So we are agreed here that we're going to keep the Uxie brand name on the DEX. That's the only thing about this paragraph here. And largely that's because the 4-letter domain name was expensive and it didn't make sense to lose that asset. So that's the gist of that. All right, now comes the interesting parts. Now, this item number 9 is where I have gone out on a limb and taken on the risk. And this was a very difficult thing for me to do, but I have taken on this risk. In the interim, until we have a DAO, I am personally responsible for delivering the tokens that came via all sacrifices that people have paid for. Even though we don't have the money, etc., I have taken on this responsibility. As you can imagine, this is going to result in many sleepless nights for me. Sorry about that. But the intent is here that this liability then transfers over to the DAO. But essentially, it means that the essential negotiation point here is that Brian said that if you don't want me in it at all, then someone's got to take the liability. I'm not going to keep the liability of delivering the tokens to people if I cannot be a part of it. And I'm saying there's no way you can be a part of it. He's like, okay, fine, then you take on the liability. And so this was a make or break kind of thing. There would not be any agreement without this thing. And so I took this on. And if you question anything about my sincerity, this is it right there. Okay. I have now, you wouldn't call it skin in the game. I have flesh all the way to the bone in this now. All right. And I am determined to make this very successful. So that's the liability I've taken on. But sorry about my cough.
Fun.
In exchange for that, I also wanted to make sure that we could get past the issues that we have right now. So one of the clauses I put there is non-disparagement. So basically, all the signatories agree to refrain from making negative or derogatory statements about the project, any of the involved parties, not to encourage, solicit, insist, do anything to disparage the project or any other individual in here, basically. So that's another thing. And the last one is individually, the 5 signatures, all right? They agree that any legal claims or disputes resulting from this shall be limited to the provisions of this document. So that's between the 5 people here, because one of the things that also resulted in this is we basically had a risk of legal actions individually against me and individually against some of the others. And that was a situation that is untenable. We have families, we have lives, etc. We cannot fight against someone with deep pockets. And so it was important for us to make this agreement. So that is the gist of it. This has been fully signed. And what this does is allow us to now move forward in a clean way. So let's look at the issues that have been resolved. We have a resolution on the multi-sig. The funds from that will be used to continue development and for operating costs, etc. The multi-sig funds that are left over when we hit mainnet will be transferred over to a new multi-sig that's a 4 of 5 with 3 community members represented in that multi-sig. The Discord will be our new Discord. No issue about that. The token allocations have been finalized. And let's see, what else? There are non-disparagement clauses. There's limitation of legal action, etc. So these are all the things you would expect in an arrangement that essentially moves us past here. Everyone was very clear. No Brian. There's no Brian. anywhere in this. His current role is on that multi-sig, subject to the terms that are agreed upon here. And that's the deal we all negotiated. So now I'm happy to take any questions. And your feedback, really.
I have one thing. So does that mean that investigation that was going to be put into BL not going to take place anymore is what I am, I guess, deriving from number 11?
The number 11 says that individually, each of the signatories would not have any legal action against each other or their companies.
All right, I got you. You guys all just thinking, it seems like it's a little quiet.
Yeah.
So basically, it's Nick. It's anything that's happened up to this point and moving forward, no legal action.
I don't.
Is that correct?
I don't
No.
read it that way.
No, you're saying, Nick, you're saying
Just moving
that
forward.
between the 5 of you individuals.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's not saying that anyone else can't bring legal action.
Oh.
Just the guys
Yeah, just
on
not
sign,
between each
Yeah,
other. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question.
So it doesn't
Nick,
protect Brian. Just those on this that have signed this cannot go after him. Go ahead. Sorry, fella.
Yeah, so Nick, will Brian or Jason or any of these guys, will they be allowed to have any type of position in the Discord, the new Discord? Are they even allowed in there? What's going on with that? Because that's comes a lot of problem with Discord.
This new Discord is our Discord to manage as we please.
Okay, so basically, if they get out of line,
Yeah, Brian's in there, just so everybody knows.
that's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
the reason. That's the reason why I brought that up.
Well, I know it's right now the Vulcan one. Almost every single person here is timed out, so none of us have been able to be in there. Which we're okay with the new Discord, but that was something good to know that the new Discord you're making will be the rebranded one.
We can make whatever rules we want on there, and we can enforce them.
One question I'm seeing in the comments: the 211,000 that Brian's getting at Genesis, are those vested as well?
No, they will be subject to the same vesting terms as anybody and everybody else.
You said 6 months and then 30
No,
afterwards.
those are the team tokens, right?
Those are the founder
Yeah.
tokens. Those are
211. He's under the 18-month vesting, just like us. Okay.
Tokens or coins? Why are they named tokens, not coins? Right?
Just because
semantics or what?
The SEC regulatory documents only refer to everything as tokens, regardless of if it's a coin or not. So these are all technically coins, but we just call them tokens. That's all.
just always go to tokens.
Yeah.
It's just my
Understood.
brain,
Understood.
DeFi
Okay.
world. But that's good that they're vested, because I see people like, can he dump on us? That's the one thing, because we know how he likes to dump. And we're not going to stop investigating his ass. We know he stole money prior to this, so we're still coming for him. He's not off scot-free.
Yeah.
Let that be.
I would
Well, I
just
think it's
prefer
fine.
you. I would just prefer you, Nick. You focus on the blockchain to come,
Oh, yeah.
and let the community that has been burnt by this guy go after him, because days are coming. And
Well, I think Kryptonian, that's why the community is having, I think it's a mixed bag. I think everyone's happy with seeing the resolution, but I think what the community is not happy with at the same time is Nick taking the responsibility, but at the same time giving Brian kind of like a fallback. Now he can wipe his hands clean and act like nothing happened.
sure, yeah. If it fails or if it doesn't move
Yes.
forward, he can say, "Well, I didn't fail."
I gave it away. That's why it failed.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we're all. I think we're all adults here, and we know the truth, and that's what really matters.
Absolutely.
So
Nick, I have a question
care
here.
what that guy
Kryptonian,
says.
did I interrupt you? Sorry.
no, my bad. Go ahead.
I have a question. So on section 11.
Yep.
So what we're saying here is that any kind of legal action between the 5 of the party members, basically. So you're trying to say the 5 party members are going to try basically get along and, try to be civil and all that, which I think that's a major, I like that part, and if anybody acts out or anything like that, then, but does this also transfer? So once everything is established, you have the DAO, you got the new Discord and all that kind of stuff. Does this follow to the DAO? And if anything was to come up between any of the people that are on here, I don't know if the DAO would vote for something like that, but do they have these constraints also?
No, this is simply saying that the 5 won't take any legal actions against each other.
Right. And this is period. So basically you guys would be out of it. What anybody else does or anything like that is not your concern.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's clear. Okay. All right.
There
you
was
guys-
a super chat from Tartar Madman. He says, please put this to Nick to explain why Brian Legend gets to keep 211,000 vol that he gained through wash trading and ill gains from our own funds. This is not right, and I find it hard to accept. Sorry to say.
No apologies needed. We all are finding this hard to accept.
Yeah, and this is why I started off by talking about
Yeah.
negotiation. Like, we can say what we want about what don't want that, etc. But that is not the basis for a negotiation. And so you go back and forth, you give and take some, etc. And so none of the other wallets that we've determined are sort of the wash trading ones, etc. will be allowed. And I know pretty much. What do they call it? Monday morning quarterback or whatever. Everyone can do that, but when you're in the seat there negotiating, you do the best you can. And as I said, I've done the best I can. If people don't like this, then I guess people can go say, "Screw you, Nick," and we don't agree to this. And
I want to bring this comment back up, Nick. So the way I see it personally, this is my opinion. This is coming from my heart, from my mind. The way I see it, I'm pissed that he's getting anything because of just the way he played this game. But the way I see it personally is, if it's going to cost me part of my contribution into this, because he's getting some of my money in there, somewhere in there, right? If it's costing me 211,000 vol to get this guy out of my life and out of my project, take it and get the hell out. Go. If it costs me that to get him out of my life, I'll accept that, as long as you can. We know that the other wallets have been deleted. He has no other access, and I like the fact that the other ones are vested 36 months or whatever it is. I mean, it adds some solace to some degree. He can't dump on me. I'm talking about me personally. Because that's exactly what he would be doing. Had he had free reign. So that's my take on that.
Yeah.
Hey, can I
I'm
bring
pretty
this
happy
one
the
up?
multi-sig is those funds are still live because those are our funds. I thought Brian was going to request some of that and be total scumbag in this agreement. So
Yeah.
I want to bring this one up, if I may, from Slumdog. Yes, will Brian be able to buy boosters to decrease his vesting?
That's a good question. When we create the booster program, we'll probably, that is not whitelisting or blacklisting. What we decide on the booster program is our rules, so we'll make whatever rules we want there.
perfect.
That's good to
Thank
hear.
you.
Good question, Odie. Good question.
Yeah.
Write that down, Chris.
I can tell you how that vote's going to go.
Oh yeah, baby. I like that. Thanks, Slumdog. That was a really great. That was great.
Don't even need to put that one up to a vote.
Yeah. So I mean, guys, like, I just want you to know that this was a very sincere and very difficult sort of negotiation. And I started off by saying no one's going to be happy about it. But it is the deal I was able to negotiate. And like I said, if everyone universally hates it, then you can just say, bye-bye, Nick. We don't care about this.
Yep.
then I have to respect that.
I'm not happy, Nick, but I'm satisfied. Okay?
Nick, I have
I'm
a
satisfied.
question.
I can sleep. I can sleep on this one. So
I have a question that came in, and I'll try to read it here.
Yeah.
Why even do a contract when if you can't enforce it on Brian's? I think on Brian's. I don't know what that Brian's in. Maybe this whole thing is useless if you can't pursue Brian on breaking it. Oh, so if Brian breaks this, you guys can't pursue him. Like the other team members say, Brian comes out and says, you know, this whole thing's, you know, whatever, you know what sometimes he said stuff. So if he says something or does something, but the other four can't pursue it.
Yeah, well, look at the things that are there here. He's got tokens, and he's got the multi-sig until mainnet. So the only vector that it still remains with him is the multi-sig until for a couple months or so. So that is one thing that he could potentially break. But other than that, there isn't anything tangible that he would be able to break, as far as I can tell.
So,
Yeah.
but basically, what this contract is saying is, though, and what I'm trying to get at, so if he does break from, you know, the number 11 there, if he does break something that's in there, you guys still can't legally go after him.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's the reason for that is because we don't have deep pockets, Chris. I mean, and
Yes.
we have families, etc., and we can't go up against someone who, yeah, we can't do that.
So I'm just putting this out. I'm not saying with you, Nick. There's a lot to process here and everything like that. So we literally could be getting some of the comments that he's been putting out there. We could still be getting those. And
Well, there's a non-disparagement clause, and yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is something that comes down to us, you know, honoring the terms of an agreement.
Right.
Brian has committed to do it. I don't know. You know, you have to take someone at face value, but we have. What other tools do you have besides
Right.
a legal signed agreement? Right? We have no other tools.
I'm going to say to you, I think this is the only document Brian will not be able to go back in and edit or delete.
100% true.
very true.
So that is because I think it's what makes it difficult to accept what this is so how many times I don't want to drop an F word, but how many times he did that to the community, would put out something, say nothing would change, is set in stone, then within a couple days change it, it's set in stone again, and then completely backtrack and delete everything. So I
Look,
think that's the hard
What
part.
I
for the
know
community.
is that in the course of this negotiation, he was reasonable with me for this thing, and we've agreed to keep the lines of communication open through a WhatsApp group. So that's my sort of position right now. I was vehemently opposed to speaking previously, but now after this negotiation, we've gone back and forth, etc., and we just agreed to keep the communication open, and we had a rational back and forth, is what I'm saying.
So let me also point out something else is that so in the gist of this, just the whole thing of it, Brian doesn't have any decision making power, doesn't have any control, isn't a part of anything, and we've been told that before by other people. Then we found out later, but I trust what you're saying. I see this document and everything. So and then Brian can say what he wants to say, but what is that term? He's fighting his own back, because if he has a token allocation and he's hurting the protocol and saying things about it in his vast amount of people that follow him and all that, then he's just hurting himself too. So it's one of those things that maybe this is going to be one of those points that he starts doing what's good for other people, you know. But
Yeah,
am I reading that right?
all I have is we were able to negotiate this agreement in good faith. Um, and I fully expect Brian to keep his end of the deal. So, and this is why we've kept the lines of communication open.
I'm gonna take this off so that people can see you more while you're talking. Um, yeah. We got there, Kryptoni. You got something?
I'm still processing. So, no, the questions coming in are pretty good. I mean,
Oh, look at this. This is true. So right now, Brian has full control of the multi-sig until mainnet, or the when are these funds going to be transferred and all that in the interim?
So in the interim, we basically let. So it's currently Jason and Brian having two, and then Damien is still on there. So we just let Jason know, and the payments get processed subject to the caps that are in there, 150K per calendar month. And then upon mainnet launching, all the balance funds would get transferred over to the community multisig.
Okay. Will any so now just so that I'm clear, because this is I'm not sure about you know me, I don't know much about blockchain and stuff like that. So will this eliminate the issue that of the discussion that we were having about the amount of wallets that Brian had that we were saying? So he will only get one wallet,
That's it.
and what if the wallets that they've identified that were like 6 of the top 10?
Deleted would be deleted.
All right. Okay. Okay. I think I got that. I have other questions coming in. Krypton, you got this one. You need me to help bring up questions over here, or
yeah, if you
are
can bring
you,
them
you
up.
processing
Yeah.
stuff in your head
Yeah,
too?
I saw a couple of them. I got a couple questions, but here's one to me specifically from Chris Kirk, and he's answered this a couple of times. What happens if BL goes back on any of this? Would Nick be able to bring legal action against him? No. No one that signed that document can bring any legal action against Brian Legend if he decides tomorrow to say, you know what, screw this agreement, I'm done. He's done. Which that just means they can't go after him. It doesn't mean we're not going after him, you know. And Nick, you're saying that you don't have deep pockets, and I know what you mean. You know, it costs money to take. You know, lawyers are very expensive. But deep pockets. At the end of the day, money is finite, right? He doesn't have an endless pile of cash, and the man doesn't know how to work for a living, so he only knows how to scam. So he will run out of money, and there's more of us than that one guy. So don't even worry about that. So to your question, Chris, yeah, if he decides to walk from the agreement, there's nothing that Nick or anyone in that document can do, unfortunately. But none of us have signed that document. So
Was it reviewed by a legal team, the document?
No, this is an MOU. It's because the idea here was to put in writing what we are agreeing to instead of just making a handshake deal. So if we had to go the route of sort of a binding legal document, we would have to consider jurisdictions, Australia, US, etc. It would be, I would think a month or two before we got to this here. And so the point here is we wanted to be expedient and get past this with an agreement that I know makes no one happy, but I want to build a freaking blockchain and make it successful. That's what I want right now more than anything else. And yeah.
I have another question. Are you satisfied with that one?
Yeah.
My thing's blowing up over here. And I see a bunch over here. So I have a question here. Nick, since Nick is in possession of the source code, why don't we give BL what he paid for and blacklist all his wallets? And we also keep the source code with all the proprietary wiggles in there and launch it under our new name. We are willing to raise the money through booster sales and forget about Brian Legend's involvement. So I think that I've seen a mix of that type of question in multiple places. So do you want to address
The
that,
math
or is
on
that
that doesn't
something?
add up, Chris. How would the math on that add up? Like, we raise money and we essentially refund, uh, refund, but we'd be refunding ourselves,
Right,
right?
right.
I mean,
So
it's not refunding Brian personally or whatever.
So,
So
but just so that I'm clear, though, and I fully understand, the document says that there will be no more than 150,000 spent, right?
per month, yeah,
And then that remaining funds will go into your possession, all of it, right?
into
This
our,
is
our community multi-sig that we're
right.
talking about,
So
all of
it's
it.
going to go in your possession with the multi sig that you talked about and everything like that, and not it might be what it is right now minus a max of 150, right?
Well, if it's 2 months, it will be max
Three, so
350, and yeah.
okay, okay. So
Yeah, I
that's it.
expect that with the current, like for example, the developer bill, the develop that's there, etc. I expect that we'd probably at around half million or so. That would be clawed back essentially into that
Okay,
multi-sig.
okay. So okay, all right. I got other questions, but I
I got
don't
a
know if you
question.
want to read them.
Real quick, Nick. I have a question.
Yeah.
How hard would it have been for us to pretty much say, you know what, let it be a stalemate. We move on completely, and we start raising funds from scratch. Like how hard of a climb would that have been, in your estimation?
Well, it's a bear market. Everyone is challenged in raising capital right now. I don't know what the appetite is for people to reinvest large amounts in this. So I don't know how much we could have raised. Right.
Well, I mean,
So
well,
basically, we would have to start from scratch, and that means that our goal would be much larger then.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I have another question. It's actually a two-parter here. Um, uh, if Brian changes anything in the contract, they won't enforce legally, but will anything happen after it? And what will happen if Brian changes things? So if Brian was to decide to change something, I don't know what would happen if this whole deal falls apart, or is that what, or is there
Yeah,
any
I
kind of
mean,
recourse?
like I said, this is between the five parties here in order to be able to move forward. If anyone decides to not honor the deal, then it becomes incumbent on the others to then decide what they want to do. There is a limitation of legal action here, but that does like there's that would be something for a lawyer to decide. Is what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. So and honestly, if you do have, and I mean I don't know about it, there's five of you, and there is legal grounds there if you guys in good faith did it, and they didn't have cause to change the agreement, or they just felt like it, then they would be in violation, and lawyers would pick that apart immediately, and that would be
Yeah.
an issue. So
Yeah. The one thing I would ask people, you know, is what is the scenario you would have crafted in this with all the constraints? Remember all the constraints. What is the scenario you would have crafted? You know?
dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm going through a lot of this stuff, and I've seen a lot of this, Nick, and I want to say that I'm glad that everybody was able to come together. Okay, I want to give props that there was even able to be in a discussion. So, and the outcome of this is, although I'm not a big fan of the token allocation, but at the same time, I kind of feel like if Brian and Jason and they just sit down and they think this through, you're going to be running this show. We're going to have a DAO, which is very, very important. They really are incentivized to basically get along, and put things aside. Maybe personally they can sit around and say, let's start rebuilding, relationships with people and everything like that, and move forward because they have skin in the game too. So, but I don't like that, but I do like that. So that's a little bit difficult. I gotta process a lot of this stuff through. So, but you got other questions there?
And Nick, Brian won't have any. He won't have any type of access to the blockchain itself, right?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Nick, what is your impression, or where do you think with this deal right now? Where do we stand with mainnet launch? Do you think, if you gone back and looked at it, you're not sure, you got to have some time to
Yeah,
look
so
at these?
I said, like, we had a lot of delays because we were just sitting and waiting around for funds. So I said 1 week more is really it. I want to continue and honor that for right now. So I want to do it by September 8th.
By September
the
8th?
RC one by, yeah.
Okay. Are you okay? I know you're not feeling well. You okay with some questions and stuff and talking through
Yeah,
this now?
It's just really long nights, and this flu
Yes.
thing didn't help. But like, first and foremost, I'm a technology entrepreneur. I don't want to be here negotiating crypto token, deals and all that. But the fact is that no one else has stepped up.
Yes.
No,
That's
and that's
like,
not being lost on us, Nick. It is not
Yeah.
being lost on, not me at least. I mean, nobody up here on this panel, we know. I can't even imagine you said you're going to have some sleepless nights. I can't imagine what, that's some heavy stuff. So from me to you, and I can't thank you enough for what you've done. It may not be a perfect solution, like has already been gone over, but it's a solution. It's a start, and I think that's good. And if I may, Kryptonian and Chris, we have 3 super chats. I don't think that we haven't gotten through yet. I thought maybe
All
we
right,
could go do those real quick.
When we you guys can get to this, I have one more question, Nick, and I've seen it multiple times, and I can't bring up a question. We'll just leave that one there. But basically, several people are talking about how is the DAO voting going to happen, and their concern will it be able to be manipulated? Like because when we did the vote for you, there was comments by certain individuals in other discords that said it wasn't a true vote, and and I think it was that the options, it wasn't right. But will there be, can we make sure, is there any way to make sure that there's not a manipulation and the legitimate, like, community or whoever the vote is for, they really get voted and it's not manipulated by other people?
yeah, absolutely. Like, look, we pulled that together in a hurry, like literally overnight, just
Right.
to get community sentiment, if you will, if you don't call it an official vote. But in the new scenario, we have the OG NFTs, right? So that your OG NFT has your incentive pool share, it's got your vesting schedule, and it has your voting component of the DAO, including the ability for you to delegate your vote to someone else. Now, one of the things that has been noted in many of the DAOs out there is if you just do a linear voting based upon the number of tokens you have, it doesn't work because all the whales dominate then, right? We don't want that. So I'm not sure yet exactly, but we might implement quadratic voting. Quadratic voting means that each subsequent vote you have requires a square of the number of previous tokens. So if you say 100, then the next vote requires 100 multiplied by 100 tokens, and so on and so forth. So that addresses the issue with whales and ensures that the community is largely represented. Now, another model to have is one wallet, one vote. You could do that also. Or it could be a combination of it. It could be some proportion. So we have to work through those numbers. But essentially, your NFT that you hold, your OG NFT, is your voting ticket, if you will, and that gives you your voting rights and the ability to delegate your vote. So we would keep it fair and secure in that way.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick.
you have you have some start questions? Because I got a couple of them over here still
Yeah.
coming in.
We
Yeah,
got three
go ahead,
super
Odie.
chats. Could we do those? Okay.
Oh yeah. Get to those.
Okay, Barry, thank you, Barry. I think this went to Greek's channel. It says, this is a get out of jail free card and it comes at the community's expense. Nick, consult a lawyer because he was doing a con and contract may be void.
How long do you want to wait until we do this?
Right.
Yeah, true. We have, and thank you, Barry. We have a super chat on my channel. Thank you, Viking Crypto Warrior. Much appreciated. He says, Kay, you have been forced to do a deal with the devil due to the outstanding funds that are owed to you. Also, where are the results of Jason's investigation? Sorry, but this stinks of Brian's endgame.
Yeah.
Well, I could easily forego those funds by doing what we've talked about, is super boosters and boosters and all that, and raise those funds, and it would not be an issue. So it's not that. As I mentioned, I needed to get to the point where we have clarity about everything. I cannot give you an ironclad guarantee on anything. It's just like that's not possible in life, regardless of what complex legal documents we create. There's nothing ironclad. It's really difficult to do. What we have here is in writing a certain set of parameters under which all the parties will operate. It remains to be seen how that works out. I feel like the scope of this is roughly 2 months. I'm willing to take that risk in order to move this community forward and move this project forward.
Can I one more thing I clarify? I have a question here about so we're saying that the multi-sig will transfer on September 8th. By what you said, and
No, that's RC1. It's production mainnet, so it will be a
Okay.
little bit. We need
a
to
little
get,
bit after that.
Yeah, we need to get to RC1, RC2, and get to the production mainnet, and so that's for maybe 5 weeks down. So
Okay. And then Brian's wallet, will it have voting rights?
So Brian Wallet, by virtue of being one of those, will have the OG NFT, and will have the whatever voting system we work out there. And if it's quadratic, then he might have, it's not a very large wallet in terms of voting rights. That's what I mean. It's like it's not. There are wallets about that size also.
Okay. Looks like we got one on your channel there, Greek. Jagged Peak. Thank you very much, Jagged Peak. He says, this is an illegal document. It's an agreement. With that said, why can't we get the majority control of the multi-sig out of Jason and BL now?
They would have to give it up. It's a multi-sig. You can't take it from people. They have to give it up.
It has to be willing, right? Because of the way that that's set up. I mean, there's no way to force them, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I said, it's not like a bank thing where you can just say remove this signer. Call them up and say remove the signer.
Yeah, Master Baron with the super chat. Hi, Nick. Thanks for all your hard work. I'm in full support of you. I know people are tired of investing more money onto this, but I think it's manageable for the sake of getting rid of Brian Legend and get a fresh start.
Yep, I agree.
Nick, have you considered implementing a whale tax of any kind? Or
What is that?
I think it's like the more that you have, the more that you would be taxed when you sell. Is that what?
I think that,
Yeah, if you sell over a certain limit, they pose a tax, so you're getting.
I don't.
Some tokens do it. But
The tokens, not coins.
yeah, most coins don't even think about it because
Like that's like a project. That's like trying to fund a project from going under from cells.
Yeah, it's project level stuff.
That's why you do vesting when you do a blockchain, because you get it. You don't do it like There's a specific reason, but I think that answers that.
And then there's one last super chat. Cody J says, crazy to think that Brian and Plan B thought they owned the blockchain code when they only paid for about 60 to 70% of the job.
Yeah.
His words, not mine.
And you guys
Thank
got
you.
any other starred ones? I think they're starred in
Yeah.
here.
Right here's one. So if we
Yeah.
launch September 8th and 4 weeks after, and so basically we get full multi-sig access when we deliver the decks and the.
When we get to mainnet, basically. So the amount
Okay.
of time, so there are some constraints there. Like the constraints are, we'd like to have the code audited. How long will that take? Which audit firm can we get quickly, etc.
Okay.
So there are some constraints. Everywhere you look, there are constraints, guys. I would love to do things in a very different way. I'd really love to, but every place there are barriers, there are constraints. So,
Yeah, you were working in an imperfect system trying to do
Yeah.
your best. I
So
wouldn't even been
honestly-
able to talk with him. I would have been kicked out of that room very quickly.
honestly, excuse me, the way I see this playing out is after we have mainnet RC1 as quickly as possible, or even sooner. This is something actually that might be a community vote to consider, and I'll just bring it up here to consider. I was very adamant. Excuse me 1 second, please. I just need to cough, all right? Be right back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I need to cough. So I was very adamant that the booster sale should not happen until we have our own blockchain, right? And I still feel that way. So we do that. We get mainnet going. We immediately do a booster sale. We see what capital we can get. I think of that capital as our operating capital, and I think of the balance sitting that multi-sig would be the one we would apply to liquidity as we get closer to mainnet. So it's just a question of how funds are going to be deployed.
Makes sense.
So, and this is just a clarifying question here. So, the multi-sig is going to take care of salaries. Is Plan B? Is he a part of those salaries? Because he said in his statement that he was done with everything and gave ownership back to Brian. And is Brian a part of those salaries?
No, Brian is not a part of the salaries. I am individually negotiating with each of the three co-founders. I've put them in the role of an advisor to figure out what the amounts will be, and so there will be some payout for them. That I cannot get around that.
Yeah. Okay. So that portion there, and you were thinking, maybe less than 2 months is what that would be of their payroll, and then that's when you would have access of it and everything like that. And I know it's been asked, but I mean, wouldn't we just? But you're saying that this agreement says that no more than 150,000 will be coming out
Of
each
this
30
multi-sig.
calendar days. So
Yeah.
So what if somebody does take more out of there? Do we have? We break this contract. I mean, what?
These funds, like, it's crypto, right? Like,
Right.
all we have is this agreement to go by, and while basically it's Brian has 2 seats, Jason has 1, and Damien has 1. So
And basically, with that being said, that if they were to do that, they're going to end up hurting themselves, because if they just sit back and just don't do anything or whatever, and the blockchain becomes successful, they'll, after vesting period and everything like that, they'll have reasonable wallets and everything, and by not doing anything bad, they've made money. So yeah, I guess.
that's exactly the important thing to recognize here. Is we've created an environment where we have an opportunity to succeed. We've given up things that I know give people, people are allergic to it. They don't want it.
Right.
But try to create a framework for us to succeed.
Yes.
I have to get going, guys. My workday's almost over. I got to head back to base. Nick, thank you so much for coming on here. After all you've gone through, and you're still feeling, pretty rotten, hope you feel better. And if you happen to feel better enough tomorrow morning, I'd love to have you on. But
Right.
either way, thank you for the sacrifices that you're making for us. It ain't perfect like we talked about, but I can live with it, just like Kryptonian said. Ain't happy with all of it, but I can live with it. So thank you again. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everybody.
See you, buddy. All right. So, do you guys have any comments that you've been starring
Yeah.
or anything like that? You guys bringing anything up?
Hey Nick, just to make sure I heard correctly, when the booster sales come, where those funds that are raised, those are going into the current multi-sig, or is
No.
it new
New
multi-sig?
one, the new community one.
Okay, just make sure. I wanted to make sure that was clarified so everybody.
Yeah, this multi-sig will not have a single dollar go into it.
Okay.
The existing one.
There is one here by Mad Factory. When will the legal entity be set up in Dubai?
ASAP, right away. Already have identified a lawyer in Dubai, and we will be working on that right away. See, these are the kinds of things that I could not do. I was unable to do because we had a stalemate on the funds. I didn't have
Exactly.
authority on sort of. I was a figurehead leader, right? So this I needed this document so there's clarity of purpose now, and I can actually execute on a lot of these things.
And Sonny T wants to know Brian Legend's back in the new name Discord. Can we get him out of there, please? I think that's already taken care of.
Yeah.
Not by me. Just saying. And then another star one. Will Brian be able to build projects in our blockchain?
I don't think you can prevent that.
You can't prevent it. Plus, you want people transacting on your blockchain. It's good for the whole ecosystem, in my opinion. But that's all the starred comments we have so far. So I don't know if
Yeah,
you got
there's a ton. There are just so many, and we're not going to get to them. I know because it's almost every single comment is a yeah. Here's an interesting. I have an interesting. I mean, why didn't Adrian just give the key to you? I thought. I mean, yeah. I mean,
We
you
still have a stalemate.
probably don't know that.
We still have a stalemate.
Okay.
That's true.
I think we're gonna get all of our questions tomorrow after more of the community.
I wish
sees
Adrian
the-
can get his key back in the multi-sig. Then I'd feel a lot better right now. You know, that's the problem.
I see this one here. It says, can you ask Nick to clarify what he means by 2 months? We launched September 8th, then 4 weeks later we lost our centralized thing. Trying to understand the timelines here.
Yeah. So basically, give me 1 second. I just need to look at. Yeah. So basically, we are talking about September 8th, sort of RC1. Then we go through RC2, RC3, etc., and we get to mainnet. And our goal is to, do things at 2 week intervals. But we don't know exactly when an audit can be completed and all that. We don't know that yet. So it could be roughly, my guess is roughly 2 months before we get to that final mainnet, which is basically, while it's got RC moniker on it, all it means is that there might be some defects in it. That's all that means. But it is technically our mainnet.
Perfect. Yeah. Are you still doing super boosters even with this new agreement?
Yeah. So the point of super boosters was to immediately get working capital. So I don't know. That's something I feel would be a distraction, honestly, because the point of it was working capital. I would much rather, now that we have a solution in place for working capital, to go along with that, instead of being distracted with running a program, more importantly, that program would run on a different blockchain, on like Binance or Ethereum. And to me, that feels like same thing as a sacrifice, and I don't want to do that. I want to wait until we have our own chain and we are doing it natively on it. So my inclination right now, unless something drastically changes, is to not do super boosters right now, because we have working capital now.
Sounds good. This is another one. This is a question I had earlier. Will you get access to all KYC info at Assured DeFi for the nodes?
I'll make that happen. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good question, Hank. Sorry, I'm
Right.
trying to scroll through. I got people messaging me, trying to go through all these questions I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm getting pulled back and forth between
Yeah.
different things.
I fully expect that by the time I come into the Discord in the morning, I'll be the one who'll be the bad guy here. So,
Well, I mean, a lot of people
Standing
have
up to the heat,
questions.
that's all you can do is be transparent, be in front of it, answer the questions, and
I'm
Yeah,
doing the best I can, and I'm trying to make this work so people can have a blockchain and have a potential for an ROI. That's it.
Yeah.
That's plain and simple my objective here.
and why 150K a month? Is it just a little? Just that's what they agreed, because it was 135K a month that you were supposed to be getting. Is it? Did you guys
No.
just
That's a
agree?
completely. That's a one-time kind of payment. The 150K is like all salaries, etc. So I will shortly
Okay.
present a DAO payment model, the stipends that people will get in different roles, and based upon that, that's the expected burn. Like, for example, in the coming week, I'll introduce you to the creator council lead, the ecosystem
good,
council
okay.
lead, the marketing team lead, and so on. The salaries that they would draw, the engineering, the technology council, and so on and so forth. So all of that will be capped at.
Sky High, I don't know what you're talking about. We're not cherry picking comments, man. I got like 1,000 comments all over this place, and you're complaining I'm cherry picking. I mean, really? I would figure that you would understand at least. So whatever.
Yeah, there's tons of comments. It's
So I have another question that came over here. So Nick, so just to clarify, so the way this deal is set up and everything like that, will we be getting what we sacrifice, the full amount of what we sacrifice? We won't have to buy a booster up to a certain point or anything like that. It's just what we sacrificed, our wallets, what they are, that's what we will have on the blockchain, right?
Yes, yeah. So that's an actually important distinction. The whole point of the whole super booster model was we were essentially talking about going a different path with a different, where I was creating a new blockchain and doing that. Now we don't need to do that. So we're going to just continue with the original strategic plan I presented. That's it. That's what goes.
Okay.
I don't know if I made sense there or not. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll make sure that I bring up nothing but Sky High's comments from now on. I supported you, and thanks for your effort. I think you're too trusting in this agreement was a mistake. I will, one way or another, come back and slap us, or it will, one way or another, come back and slap us in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I can't predict the future, but as I mentioned, the main point of vulnerability in this agreement is the missing.
Okay, so here's another comment here. So moving forward, what happens if another tantrum takes place and management gets out of control again and start timing out and leaving Discord and bringing back BL in the Discord? So
I don't have tantrums.
So we're dealing with that right until we get everything over to the new name Discord.
Yeah, I mean, we are already, like, I'm not a part of the older server anymore. Also, and our goal would be to get the new name server to be the primary one and have all our rules in there properly documented and enforced.
There you go.
Sounds like a plan.
I would encourage. I would actually like to hear also is what would be a workable model or solution that other people would come up with that would work with all the constraints, etc. That are there. What would be the workable model? Because it's always easy to say, well, that's terrible, but can you propose an alternate solution, please? Is my question.
See a lot of comments. I don't see questions. I mean, unless people are going to be upset that we didn't bring up their comment. I don't know. Okay, that we've already gotten to those. Where do we stand with nodes? Still on the original path?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, got that.
So
Okay.
are nodes going to still have the new incentive pools like you said the other day?
Yeah, I would make that available. Yes.
Okay, perfect. I know I saw that question somewhere. I just lost it in the shuffle. It scrolls way too fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so might multi-wallet holders be given the chance to consolidate prior to OG NFT allocations?
I would need to understand how we would orchestrate something like that. So I'll make a note of it and try and see how we could do that. It is a little complicated.
Yeah, they would have to like open a ticket, send you on the wall.
I think this is answered or whatever, but I think. Well, I mean, I think this. We're not raising funds now, but the question is where will the funds raised from now be sent? The new multi-sig wallet or the one Brian has control over? So I think
the answer is obvious there. I mean, we are doing all this for our purpose. That's new.
Once we start raising any kind of funds or anything, what you won't be doing the booster sales, right? I mean, everything will be set up, and
we have to do the booster sales for liquidity. We also have to attract potentially individual investors.
So, but that will be a part of the new multi-sig.
Yeah, exactly.
It won't be what the team has over there. Nothing new's going in there. Just we've allocated the 150 for each 30-day cycle, while everything else being set up, and anything that's brought in is being the new thing, the new wallet setup, right?
I had a good question. So, the only reason we're keeping Uxie is just because of the URL?
The name we are keeping, but we have to have a DEX. I mean, and there's people.
I think that some people have a problem with that just because it was Brian's, choice to name it that. As well as I know that Uxie was never actually even made into a company either. So I don't know what the implications of this. I think it's just having that stigma on it now.
Well, it's a DEX on the ecosystem. Other people could create DEXs also on the ecosystem. It's just one. I don't know.
And Nick, if with the Uxie DEX, they don't have control of that, do they? Like, is that being released for them, or what's going on with that?
So it's entirely within our control. We have to stand it up, and part of the agreement here is that it would be stood up along with mainnet. So it's part of that.
So if they're not having control with it, why does it have to be named Uxie? Like, if they're not in control, if they're not benefiting off of it, can it be fly on the wall X?
Yeah, it's just a name. It's just a name thing, Fowler. I mean, it was about the fact that there was a substantial amount of money paid for that domain, and it seemed like a waste to not use it. But it doesn't have as much brand equity as people think It does. It doesn't really. I mean,
Oh,
you can,
it doesn't. But Confirm is saying, it's a stigma on it. It's like a real, actually, it's a real sticking stigma. It's not like it's a small stigma. It's pretty big.
I'm sure if you held some sort of community vote and even like wanted to even make a stupid little fundraiser with a wallet, I'm sure the community would front a bill to have it changed.
okay.
I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Greek? Am I wrong, Chris?
I
hated
don't know.
the name,
I don't know.
so-
I mean,
but I
there are
don't know
so
if
many
it really-
questions and so many things that are going on. It's like I think we should try to get through some comments and everything like that and some questions. But I mean, I think people got to sit on this because half of them are like, I'm reading these, and they're literally questions that he's answered. Plus, they're like really good questions, and it's like, then I see another one, and then someone sends me something else, and it's like, there's a lot of questions, and I know that we can get through a lot of these, but it seems like I think a lot of people are still processing it, so they're asking questions that they're like, I don't understand this, but we talked about it, but I know they got daily life and they're running around and stuff. But Nick, is there? I mean, with this, I know you put a lot of work in this and everything like that. I know that you, I appreciate that, and I understand what you're trying to do. Is there an option if you wake up tomorrow and there's a whole bunch of people who are like, oh, I just don't like this deal. Is there an option that you would consider something totally different? I mean, like if the community was like,
it
and we
needs to be a concrete
legitimately,
plan, and we need to figure out
Right.
how to work through all the constraints around that. It can't just be go do this. It needs
Right.
to factor in everything. And like I said, we have an agreement here, so we would have to work out a similar agreement with. Yeah, and anyone is free to do that, right? Like as I said earlier, if you don't like this at all and hate it, then change it.
right. But I mean, that's what I'm saying is this is the best plan that you come up with, everything like that. But at the same time, you're not like, doors shut. This is what we're doing. You're like, let's
No,
think about
I'm always
it. Process it.
I'm a rational person, always willing to listen to new ideas and entertain them and see where it takes us.
Okay. All right. Well, at least people, whatever we end up getting through tonight, you can sleep on it, maybe come up with some decent solutions and stuff like that. And
Do you got a date on the branding change?
Yeah. So this also clears the way for that now. Like we were stuck in quagmire there. So we can expedite that and get it.
okay. And one other thing, Nick, is I think I understand this. I'm completely reading it wrong and I'm confusing myself. But would you be able to repost the official version of the new blockchain? The version 1, because the version 2 was going our own way, but what your plan was after the vote happened and that portion.
Yeah. So we're talking about the current code. It rebases every 15 minutes. And it goes on and it has this $325 billion cap or something like that. The new one has different parameters and it rebases based on performance, and it starts at 50 million and goes up to 250 million. So those are the changes we have to make to the blockchain right now in order to get it launched.
Okay.
Joseph brings up they can deploy 2 dexes, one named Uxie, one named something else. The real issue is about the Uxie sacrifice funds, which aren't addressed yet.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they technically
We
were.
need
That's
funds
the
just to
funds we
release
have.
the blockchain. That's why it's so tough.
The funds we would raise are for liquidity, and so we would apportion that liquidity between the native token and the DEX.
Sounds good.
Sorry, it sucks to be sick and on a live stream.
Yeah, I know.
Reserved for
Sorry.
eternity.
And yeah, okay, yeah, that was talked in there.
I think most people need to just watch and think and gather their thoughts for good collective questions tomorrow.
Yeah, one thing I want to put out there is I see a poll up that they want to have a vote now if we should just skip all this altogether and raise our own funds and do it all. How much money do you think we can raise? This is essentially giving us $930,000 head start that we wouldn't have if we had to raise our own funds. So people need to think about that in this community. How much money are we willing to throw at something here?
Well, think about what's happened over the course of the past year. How many projects, how many community projects it just keeps getting slammed over and over and over and over and over again. We were making that analogy with Brian, how he just kept, just skimming what he could. Whenever people would replenish, he'd skim it. So, I mean, the community wouldn't mind, I'm sure, putting money towards it. But I think it's the fact of just how much money they've already lost in the past year. Usually you're looking for an ROI, and it's more of like just funding someone else for the past year,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
so I definitely
now things make more sense now, Greek. If we're gonna you now have Nick, but before everyone had that trust and then gave it, and then now it's just a sad thing to see. This is what happens in most of DeFi. People fall for that one dude and then don't give it to the one that's actually trying to be genuine.
Yeah.
That's typically how it goes. So, but it seems like the dedicated people that are still here, I'm sure would still be in support of Nick, but it just wouldn't be anywhere near what it could have been if this were 10 months ago.
That is true.
Sky High, you're not like nobody, but calling me out in the comments that I'm not answering yours. AA, what is the question, the comment that you want? I'm actually reading right here because I'm stopping to look around for comments. I'm just watching what you guys are doing. I mean, so what is the comment that you're wanting me to do? You said, Sky, can you get the comment to the guys on the live? And then nope, Sky's like, nope, I'm a nobody like everyone else. You literally have my personal telephone number. You can text it to me and everything, but yeah, you're a nobody. Appreciate it. So, I'm watching. If you want to retype it in or paste it in or whatever, I'll read it right now.
Yeah, there's a question here about switching to proof of stake, but instead of proof of authority. But is that something you're even looking at right now at this juncture?
I see someone saying
we've talked about that at length. We want to potentially explore that, but that's something the Technology Council has to do after we've gone to mainnet. See, at this point, everything hinges, the success of this project hinges on us getting to mainnet. And I know there's a lot of people that disagree with me, but I don't think this community has the ability to survive another 6 months of, oh yeah, we'll get to mainnet. I just don't. There's people, it's done. So if we want to see any chance of success, we have to start actually having a mainnet, having projects on here. And, I've been talking to people and we have potential projects lined up now. So we need to get there.
Okay, I can't find it. Because there's so many comments everywhere. But I got another comment asking. One of us had brought up, I think Hank Tester's comment, and then we went off to another one. But he asked about Jason's node and wallet. Do you guys remember what that? I can't find it anywhere.
He said, "Will Jason be able to keep his node and wallet, sacrifice wallet?" Now, from what I believe, all that's legit. He did buy his node legitly. So,
well, I see people here talking about the blacklisting and stuff. There's only so much I know you can do, especially since you're going into a blockchain, not you're not making a token project. So it's a little bit different in the longevity and the long haul of what you're making. I don't ever talk about that sort of thing before you go to launch. So I know, hey, we got to make sure we blacklist all the. We're talking about Brian Legend here, but going to that extent, it's just unheard of. At the same time, I can understand why like they want a fine tooth comb through it. I don't know. I can only see that. You see Dave Fi saying you need a third party audit to go through and validify everything. Sorry, vilify everything is what I meant to say.
Greek, can you read that? I think this is the AA question that was going around.
Yeah, why don't we do a super booster and booster fundraise and see what we raise? You might be surprised if we don't hit a certain goal. I mean,
They're like Pink Sale almost.
like do a
Okay.
super booster and whatever you raise, you
So,
raise.
so
and
let's
it
say
just
that
goes
we do
direct
that,
to
right? We
liquidity.
do that right now, given what's there, etc. So who are the people who are most likely going to be attracted to it? Only the people who are in the community right now. I don't see any
Okay.
external investor saying, "Oh, this looks like a great project. I should put into." We have not done any of the sanitization needed yet for it, right? So this is why I feel like don't do the super booster right now, because we have the working capital, and do the booster
When you
but
have a
with some of
working
these
product.
things put into order. We have a DAO published, we have governance published, etc. We have a new name, we have a couple of projects that are already on here. Maybe we get a few art projects on there. We got the now it looks like, okay, there's something happening here. What is it? Well, it's a creator blockchain. Well, what's different about it? Well, they've got intellectual property provisions built into the protocol. They've got royalties built into the protocol. They got artists rebasing. So finally, for the first time in history, artists can afford to invest in other art, etc. So now there's a narrative. This is going to attract other investors beyond boosters, because the boosters are just $150 each for people in the community. But in order for us to raise larger amounts, that's what the treasury tokens are for. So we want potential professional investors to invest larger amounts of money in here.
Greek, I think this one's for you, buddy.
Because Greek, your son.
All right, listen. I think everybody's got tons of questions. They gotta think stuff through and everything like that. And Mr. Fox has come in and said, "Look, I mean, you gotta let Nick go to bed." So, yeah, I don't think we're gonna get everything answered tonight. I do know that they put some comments, and I think there's even a poll in the New Name Discord. So, I don't know. I wish we'd talk more. There's some things like, disappointed about, some things I'm excited about, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of processing going on. It's just like with anything else that I do, I got to actually look at it and I have to think about it. So, I know people have questions and stuff like that. And I think that Nick needs to get a little bit of rest. Hopefully the people will be able to get some answers in Discord, and maybe we can set something up for, a couple days from now, or I don't know. But I want to try to get everybody's questions, but so many people are there and everything like that. I don't know for sure. So
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do?
Go ahead, Greek.
Oh no,
Jinx.
you're back. You're finally back.
No, I've been listening, guys. Sorry, let's take care. Yeah, taking care of some house cleaning here. I'm definitely gonna have plenty of questions tomorrow. I'm gonna process this. I mean, and I know it is what it is. This is an agreement, based on within the constraints that you said, Nick. I mean, it is what it is. We never really were holding the cards. You did hold the code, though, right? I mean, at the end of the day. So I have a question about that. I guess it'll be my last question, or the only question I really have is, so they pay you the 135K. You release the code to them. They can literally go off and run off with it. Is there a code at that point, right? Or does it belong to the new name blockchain or whatever? Is it their code? How is this working?
No, this is now our community project. Now this is not anybody else's. So It belongs to us. We the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
The Crypto
That's all I had.
88 Mayaman, he keeps saying the Uxie stuff. Yeah, I brought that up earlier, buddy. Just letting you know.
Yeah, the Uxie stuff can get decided.
Yeah,
we can vote on that.
That's the least, not the least of our problems,
fries.
but it's small in comparison to what we. I think what everyone needs to do, especially I'm going to do it, is just go back and watch the video again, or really read through with a fine comb fine tooth comb, the paper. I think everyone needs to even throw it in the chat GPT and say, hey, summarize it for me. if you really don't have the time. But
Oopsie to poopsie.
say oopsie.
Yeah. So like I think it's worth summarizing the primary intent. The primary intent is to move past a lot of the discussions, debates, name calling, finger pointing, all of that. Get the capital stalemate resolved and just focus on developing and releasing the blockchain. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And in the process, did we have to give up things? Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? But I mean, our options were to continue indefinitely or to reach some kind of consensus and move this thing forward. So other options, I think there certainly are, but all of them hinge on capital. Capital is the key thing here. If someone has a ginormous checkbook that they want to write, then this can be changed, but it's complicated right now. It's very complicated.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to have to process more. I'm going to have to think it through, but I don't know. Do you got Nick? Do you have any questions that you saw or anything like that? Do you guys got
I'm
other
just
guys
looking at the
have
Discord
anything?
here, and I see that people are largely saying it's bullshit, it's no good, blah blah blah, etc. And a lot of them also interpreting things incorrectly, but that's par for the course. It's okay. All I can say is I've made a good faith attempt here to get us
Definitely.
past a stalemate, to get us past a block. If the good faith attempt is not good faith enough, then please come up with an alternate solution. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but I think there's an important one here. Is that you want to replace Uxie with Nick or Nick? I mean, they're asking the important and making some suggestions, Nick. We gotta listen to them.
Yeah.
But
I think people are just gonna have to get over this. Like, just have to really, really think about the stipulations of Brian and Jason. I think that's the hardest part. Maybe not so much of the multi-sig and everything, though that is a big part of it as well. But it's just the allocation and the vesting. And I can understand. Yeah, it is for me reading it. I'm sure it is for the other four sitting here. Just still seeing that, but I think that's why everyone's pretty gung ho about that Uxie thing, just slashing it with a sword and getting rid of it. But
yeah, it's like I said, this is almost like a divorce or something like that, and no one's happy about it. So
yeah, it was going to be impossible to make everybody happy on this one.
Well, yeah, in those divorces, usually it's a 4-3 split that kind of like flips every couple of weeks. But to the community, I'm sure it feels like a 6-1. So I'm sure that they're trying to come to terms with it.
So my question is, like, if you let's say look 6 months out, right, and you envision what the scenario is. You've got a blockchain on mainnet. You've potentially got a bunch of projects on here, and it has a new name. It has a, something positive. It's some attracting creators, attracting projects on there. How does that change the tenor of it? Like, yes, there's bile around having people have large bags that you did not want to, but how does it look for us in terms of our holdings? I'd encourage you to look at that. Like, there is a positive to it also, not only a negative. So I know people don't like saying, why do they have that, right? But also look at what you would have if you move past some of the blocks, because the alternative is to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait some more and not get past the starting blocks even. So yeah, that's the approach I took, is is more future looking and saying, how can we get past the current block?
right. Wow. All right. Do we have any other questions? We want to let Nick go and get some rest and you know
I think we all do after that.
yeah.
Yeah,
thank
well,
you,
we
Nick,
just did a
for
live
everything
stream and you
you're
guys are
doing.
feeling like this. Imagine what what it's been for the past.
Yeah. Well, I think
no.
we're tired of. I mean, we're just tired. I know
Yeah,
you don't feel good.
I mean, if anything, I just appreciate that we finally gotten to we now we know what we know, right? And we definitely have a path forward at the end of the day, and I think that's what all any of us could ask for, whatever it may be, whatever it may be. At least we have a path forward. So let's move forward. Let's build this blockchain. Only thing we have to hope we can really hope for is that the remaining signers hold fast to that agreement. As long as they hold fast to that, we should be fine. So we just have to look forward to that. So,
Well,
be my-
I mean, I
that'd be
think
my
it's
only concern.
important that everybody needs to understand that, the information is put out here and everything like that. We can either run around slinging insults and, stomping our feet, being mad, or being very happy or whatever. But if you're not really putting any effort into giving some constructive criticism and some advice, on what your opinion is and all that stuff, and we're just spinning our wheels. So really look into this and come up with some good suggestions and everything. I mean, everybody. I mean, yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah. So since I'm not reading people's comments, they're saying I'm unsubscribed to Chris's channel, so he's not reading many of our questions. All right, sorry, man.
Hey,
There's
we're gonna say this, dude. He
channels
has
feeding in here. This
you
is
have 6
fun.
channels worth of comments coming through here. I'm just gonna tell you, Crypto Man. It's there's a lot of comments coming through here. You can scroll here probably for the eternity. I have an
man.
infinity scroll wheel that it can't
Yeah.
even catch up with how many are here. So
Yeah. Not to mention, I got people on Discord commenting, people
Mhm.
texting me. I'm getting it from. And then I'm trying to process the information myself.
yeah. So it's not. So in a sense, maybe sure it is cherry picking. We're trying to find what we probably ourselves personally deem
Well,
would be like
when
good
you
comments
write
to ask.
you write 3 sentences, you don't tag me in it, and then there's a question mark in the middle, and I'm running through trying to figure out what the question mark is, and it's not even directed at me. Then I'm like, and I don't see it directed at any of you guys or anything, and I'm like, okay, I got to read a book while I actually at the same time listening to what Nick's saying.
Yeah, it's
That's
chaotic.
probably best to unsubscribe, I would think. I'm not here for subscribers anyway. So,
That's true.
but that's cool. I'll make sure that next time I'll make sure that I'll have somebody actually starring comments and have one person reading them, and I'll get them from other places too. But
Plus, this would be, I'm just going to say this, it would be easier if we had access to the document where we weren't processing the information ourselves on top of reading comments. So that,
this is
live
great
show.
stuff here, because this is what great stuff is here. So now we flinging out comments like this and everything like that instead of us actually trying to work together and talk to Nick about it. So all those people that don't want this to succeed, and we know who those are, and they're constantly, saying what they're saying and everything like that, then they're getting their wish. So it's great. Unsubscribe.
I think that's how you know the sentiment right now is people just need
I'll
to
start
step back
making
and think.
videos about playing video games.
I mean, I'm okay
Hey
with that.
Nick, if you could do me a favor, Nick, I appreciate the comment, man. If you could just subscribe to Chris, he just lost a subscriber. I think you'll make his night, man.
Yeah.
I'll hop
But I-
onto
but
my
I-
alt account.
Yeah, I'm not monetized, so stay with the guys that are monetized. They need your
No,
help.
but I like I said earlier, the last few days, I never leave money on the table. I'm in this thing, I think I've said this since the very beginning. I'm in it till it goes to zero, and there's an opportunity here that we could not go to zero. So I'm willing to give it that try. So one of the questions I had seen are we still going with your proposed plan as far as the type of chain you're going to launch? We've been talking about the last few weeks. So that's
Absolutely.
all right. Cool.
Yeah, and so we just had a comment
Thanks, Nick.
here about do questions in all caps. I mean, you don't have to. You literally can do comments where you at the person that that's on the stream, the YouTuber that you're watching, they see those. I see them all the time, but half the comments I'm getting, I'm not seeing anything that they're tagging me in. And yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, I was you said you did, but I didn't see your comment. But
Dude, there
that's
just
fine.
needs
That's
to be
fine, dude.
time
Just
going on here.
unsubscribe. Nick,
people-
I
people are
appreciate
over
your
here.
time. What's that?
So people over here, like right now, just trying to fighting over the fact that they're like Brian's current wallet that is vested along with a token allocation. And I'm like, oh boy, I'm like, people just gotta read this thing and then come back.
Yeah, go watch it. Nick did a real good job at the very beginning when he started talking about it, kind of going through each point. Watch it a few times, listen to it on the way to work before you go to bed, and then formulate your questions. Because I guarantee you, what you heard tonight was a lot of interruptions, all that questions thrown up in the midst of it. You'll probably have a different take on it. That's what I went off and did actually when I went off camera. I went to go read it again, and I had to really process it. I read it for myself, and I am still satisfied. Not happy, but I'm satisfied, Nick. So thank you for that. That's better than being not satisfied. So it is what it is, and it's the bed we all made, so we've got to sleep in it, right? So let's take what we have and move forward.
And Barry has to be Barry. Snowy domain name is available.
Yeah.
And Nick, please have some chai.
Yes.
Ordered from Jana.
Yes. I love that.
You're good. I took that off by mistake. All right. Well, get your questions together and tune in to some other YouTubers and have them.
I'll be on with Odie tomorrow for about an hour.
Yeah.
So.
Can we just end on a positive note? I want to talk a little bit about a comment I made earlier today. So I met at length yesterday with the person who's going to be sort of our marketing team lead to talk about our strategic approach to that and, crafting a strategy around the marketing. And we've got a lot of positive things we can do with this chain in terms of, just the hype around having intellectual property provisions using the Creative Commons license model built into a protocol doesn't exist anywhere in the world. Like, we can potentially have every music song creator, every artist, every movie maker, etc. Because in web, Film 3 has not taken off yet. So this could be, our moment. So we need to innovate on technology and think beyond just rebasing and the token, compound interest. Like, we got to go beyond that. And I think there's an opportunity here to finally do that. I'm pretty excited about it. And really, it's almost like, trying to drive a car and accelerate with the brakes on is how I felt all this time, because I could make pretty decks and all that and share them with you, etc. But I couldn't actually do things. Now I feel empowered that I can do that. I can take my foot off the brake and really put the foot on the gas much more and move forward. So, whether you like it or not, just know one thing. We are moving forward with the blockchain. We're going to implement it and we're going to see some success. So that's tangible. That's not going to go away. And that's an important outcome of this.
Good. That's a high note for me. I appreciate that. It's a positive note. That in the midst of the flu and in your sleepless nights, Nick, and the back and forth, you literally had to go before the team and before the community. Man, hats off to you, man. I don't know where you get the energy for that, but I can take that. I can take that, and I'm definitely giving me something to think about. I'm as far as the creative aspect and the creators out there, the music, the artists, the poets, and all that. I'm looking forward to what you bring forth with that. I think there's a need for that. You're right. Film, Web3, it hasn't happened yet. If we can actually be the first to market, let's do it, right? Or at least give it a shot.
Exactly.
Right?
Thank you, Nick.
All right.
For all your hard work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. And as I started off by saying, everyone's going to be unhappy with me. I'm okay with that. I'm going to take it.
Well, I don't think it's I don't think people are unhappy with you, Nick. They just, there's a lot to process here and everything like that, and they just want it to be better. And a lot of people have they'll they'll start thinking through, and there's a lot of great people in the community. They'll start having some good, constructive, things, and you'll see some comments, and people will be like, but hopefully we didn't do anything to disturb the community by not reading questions or anything like that. It was not intentional, but
Yeah,
what
tons.
it
I
is,
think
it
we've
is.
had the most comments flying through our chats,
Right.
I think, ever. So thanks for that, Nick. I mean, they're just
Blame the Greek because
piling
I
them
have a
in.
habit of missing comments
Yeah.
all the time, and I admit to it.
Yeah.
So blame
But-
me.
I mean, it could have been worse. Pride could have been here, and we'd barely be reading them now. 3 hours later. So
If Pride was going through all these comments, yeah, it'd be a 17-hour live.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Nick. And like I said, I don't think that it's personally you. They know that what your intentions are, but let's just process it and everything.
Yep.
All right. Thanks.
Thank-
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks for
Thanks,
your time,
Tom.
Nick.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Nick.
you. You guys ready to go live now? Because we're backstage the whole time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I really think everybody just needs to process it. It's a lot to take in. First things, usually your first emotion is one that attacks. You're very emotional. That's why I like to take a step back, process the information, ask questions. Then tonight I'm going to look into it more and delve into its ramifications. But we also have to think 3 weeks ago, we had no blockchain. Brian quit. We had nothing. We had $1.1 million in liquidity and nothing. So Nick stepped up. Now we got a chance. Now I know it's not the best for everybody, but we'll come to an agreement with, I'll find a way to make it work for everybody. And hopefully we can move on and get the blockchain we all hope for. But yeah, that's my initial thoughts. I got to process it more myself. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't kidding. He said we wouldn't be happy. I mean, the guy was like, he kind of called it. But and I like how you mentioned that, Chris. It's not that we're not happy with Nick. I mean, at the end of the day, what power does he really have? He literally went to signers of a multi-sig and said, "Hey, can I get the money? Can I get a little bit of that? Can I go do my thing?" In a sense, and each one of them could have been like, "Nope, nope, nope," but they agreed to something. I'm kind of taken back that one of them gave up their keys to Brian. That threw me off big time that happened.
Yeah.
that shocked me.
I wonder how much that cost Brian. Someone was definitely bought.
A lot of people were talking about in Discords and stuff like that, like maybe this might pull the community together. They're like, what would it take for us to just get rid of that deal and just go our own, and just Nick go do your own thing or something. I don't know, but
It
a lot
makes
of
you
people
wonder.
talking
It
like
makes
that.
you wonder how Brian's going to spin this tomorrow and for an announcement.
Oh yeah, he saved the blockchain by allowing us to proceed with the blockchain to some degree. Well, I think it's going to cost a lot more than $900,000 to if we're just to walk away from this thing. I mean, it's going to take some money to do this, and the points that were made is, at least from Nick's side of it, is like we've got something, but the only ones that are going to be willing to invest in it are going to be the existing investors. Do we want to raise another $1 million in between us again, or more than that? Do we have the capital? Do we have the resources in this bear market? And then another thing he said was another thing that he said was about external investors, right? Like who as a right, because nothing's been tested, it hasn't been sanitized, as he said. They'd kind of be like, let me see what you do first before we throw money into this thing, So I can understand in that regard. So
Yeah.
I see something. Somebody tagged me on something here. Can I pull it up?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Hey, no disrespect taken, I mean, absolutely, to each their own. Everyone has to process this in their own way. My individual life experience is completely different from yours. So everybody is looking at this and has heard this through their worldview. you know, through their own, they're seeing it through their own glasses, their own eyeballs, hearing it through their own ears. So it's different. Everybody heard something different to some degree. So, hey, no worries, you know.
You see this comment by Master Baron here?
Yeah. Here's my only problem. Without a working blockchain, outside money is not coming in. And then asking people within this money, I'm just going to say this. We need to start thinking real. This blockchain right now is a very high risk investment, even for us who are in the community. There's no guarantee that it's going to be a success. So you're asking us to keep forking more money over. Yeah, we could probably raise the money, but how many in the community, when you really get down to it, if you start polling people how much they're willing to go, this isn't about one person throwing $100. Like if everybody threw $100, that still wouldn't be enough money. We're talking, we need millions here. We still need to raise millions, but like just getting rid of 900,000 in funds right now when he has that, I know there's some people, you know, it's just having Brian's name attached to anything was always going to be a no-go. Some people thought Brian got too much in here. I'm just glad he didn't touch 900,000. I knew he was going to get token allocation. That to me, that was a given with like a starter.
At least that, right? I mean, that he was going to go for that at least.
It's tough. I still need to process it. You know, I barely had time to, you know, Nick was going through it. I haven't had time to read it because I'm looking at comments and I'm seeing, but I just don't know how much we could seriously raise. So like, that's the question that I ask. If I could say right now, we could raise $4 to $5 million on our own right now. Oh yeah, we wouldn't need this. You know, we could just throw this away, but it's a risk. And remember, how many people here are really, when you sit down and you ask yourself, are you willing to throw more risk capital at this on an already risky investment that we're currently in? Now you have to be real with this. This blockchain is not guaranteed, even if it comes out. So you have to, that's where I'm torn. So like, at least I have a chance. Now we can progress forward. Maybe once blockchain's out and we could see something working, then you can start getting VC funding, outside capital coming in, looking into this, because now you got something for them to actually build on and work on. It's very tough now. I will say that. I told a bunch of my friends, would you throw money at this? And of course, it was with the drama and all that stuff. And they're like, hell no, I wouldn't go anywhere near this. And a lot of people have that sentiment from the outside. We inside the community think it's all sunshine and rainbows because we want it to succeed. But outside, this is a mess. And we're doing our best to clean it up. And hopefully we get something good and something that comes out that gives us all a chance. And that's all I ask for.
I agree with you.
Yeah, just so Crypto 88 Maya Man, I've been through my entire chat history. You did not tag me in any of your questions, and you said you did. See, when you tag me, it comes up red on my chat, and I can see it right away. You got like 11 questions in here, and never did you put at me or anything like that. So I got tons of comments. But I mean, even some of the ones I couldn't get to, a bunch of people didn't at me. So, you know, I mean, it's tough, but you know, I don't know what you want me to do, but you know, all right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I got to get going. Yeah. I love this community. I want to see all of us be successful. I want to see things come out. I wouldn't go bashing Nick, well, we can bash Brian. That's okay. We can all bash Brian. But let's think of ways that we can try and think of solutions. Don't just, you know, opinions are great, but if we back them with solutions, we can get further and we can make things out of this. So please, I just implore all you to read this again. Think of it. Think through all different options. Think of what you would have done if you were in that room, because sometimes that will make you feel better about, hey, maybe I wouldn't have been able to get this kind of deal. What other options do we have? So look at everything as a whole, come up with a plan, and at least we got a chance. And I love you all.
Like I said, if it's a little bit
Love
too
you,
much
Chief.
for you, you could always just copy and paste it, throw it in Chat GPT, have it give you a summary.
Or you can be a critical thinker yourself, and your generation, man, your generation.
It's not my generation. It's all the people in here. They don't. I say a lot of people don't want to read a big document, but
Yeah, I know. Just mess with you.
I'm telling you
It's-
guys that if that's
summarize it
really
for
what you
you.
have to resort to, but you really
Easy
should read
stuff.
it. I'm gonna go through it and read it.
Read and break it down section by section. You don't get something, look up the terms. This is
Mm-hmm.
this is one that I got to read.
I actually forwarded it to one of my clients who's an acquisitions corporate. He's in acquisitions. He's a corporate tax lawyer. He does with acquisitions and mergers and these types of things, and it's not good. It's not good because it's not a legal document. It's not legally binding. It's just an agreement. It's basically it's a handshake with ink on it. That's all it is. So. But it's all we got because because they're because of the different regions of where they're at and all that stuff. But I think we're gonna close it out, guys. We're going at 3 hours now. I think we came to do what we planned to do here, and that was kind of talk about the negotiations. Now we know what it's all about.
We talked about it.
Yeah, at length, right? At length. I guess my last words, if I had any, would be let's see what happens tomorrow, if anything changes, because
It's always my worry every time I wake up. I look
Yeah,
at Discord, I'm like, please, no changes.
someone's going to be going live in about 3 hours or 4 hours or something, or whatever. There's going to be a post somewhere. But it is what it is, and it could be worse, guys. It could absolutely be worse. That's one thing I can
Well,
say.
I mean, there's one thing you can say about it is Nick is open to it, so it can be better. I mean,
Yep.
unless we're gonna,
Yep.
overreact and act like, a few people, then it's not going to go anywhere. So get your rest and get some input together and put it in there, or just, unsubscribe. We'll do that.
I will unsubscribe from you, Chris.
That sounds good.
Just
I'm
don't
gonna
unsubscribe from
subscribe
me,
to
man.
all my
Because I don't have very many subscribers, and I need your vote, man.
Yeah, go over and subscribe. Unsubscribe to me. Go over and subscribe to Kryptonian.
No. I don't want someone to unsubscribe from me because I forgot their message or chat or whatever.
Oh no.
It's a lot of pressure, man. Because I don't really watch the chats. You guys do that, so. But any last words, guys?
You left us stranded.
You
Like
what?
Kryptonian. He went it off and he oh man.
I downloaded Pretty, sent that Joker out, went over, we had a long conversation. It was about
It's all
20 minutes
good.
or so. But it was we kind of go over some things. But
As always,
Um,
leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe. Oh, and hit that notification bell for Chris Cruz so you never miss a Chris Cruz video.
You ready to go? I'm ready to go.
let's do it, guys.
Do it.
Thanks for everybody coming out. We appreciate you.
I agree with that.
Anytime now. We'll see you guys.
You're a chubby guy.